Thanks very much, Clay. Coming up next, American Conference action, South Florida and Memphis. And South Florida looking to win at Memphis for the first time since these two were Conference USA rivals back in 2004. Chance to see Riley Ferguson, the high-flying Tiger offense, against the Gulf Coast offense of South Florida. Coming up in about 13 minutes on ESPNU. 90 seconds. So Georgia thinking upset of the top 10 team. Quentin Flowers on pace to go for 2,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards this season. Might do it at Memphis tonight. Kickoff less than 10 minutes away. Stay with us. Coming up, Mike Norvell and Willie Taggart getting together less than 7 minutes until South Florida and Memphis kick things off. South Florida looking to get to the American Conference Championship game. 7-2, equaling their best start in school history. Willie Taggart's name being brought up as an up-and-coming coaching name. Look for him for some openings maybe this season. South Florida, Memphis is next. Mountain West Conference action later. Colorado State and Air Force from Colorado Springs at 10:15 Eastern. It's all tonight on ESPN News, streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. Navy has the advantage in the American Conference in that division over Tulsa with a 42-40 win. Houston up on Tulane right now as they are under 4 minutes to go. South Florida is looking to win its division in the American Conference. South Florida and Memphis, a couple of teams now starting to get used to some success at the FBS level and looking for another win tonight.
Two of those programs, and when you look at their success over in recent years, these are programs that are being built the right way. I had a chance to visit with Willie Taggart before the season, and Buck, you remember, I mean, his energy, his vision for this team, the way that you do it. I mean, look, we've been around coaches pretty much all my football life, and this is someone who comes with the pedigree, comes with the training, and he's doing it from the inside and from the ground up with a good staff and developing players.
Yeah, and I think what people don't quite understand is that's a fertile recruiting ground where he is, and he's got a nice opportunity to do that. On the other hand, you think about what Justin Fuente left at Memphis and what Coach Norvell is doing now, and had a chance to see him before the Tulane game. He's excited about what they have and the opportunity that they're able to put together. And that offense is going to be very explosive. I like this matchup, and I like what they're building for the future.
South Florida, best start in school history, equaling that with a 7-2 start. Memphis, bowl eligible for the third straight season for just the second time in its program's history. With that, we send you to the Liberty Bowl in Memphis for the Bulls and the Tigers. Enjoy the game. We'll see you at halftime.
It is a chilly Saturday night in Tennessee, but we are expecting fireworks in a critical American Conference football showdown on ESPN. Tonight, from the historic Liberty Bowl, 6-3 Memphis hosts 7-2 South Florida. Memphis out of the American Conference West, South Florida out of the American Conference East. And welcome to Memphis. I'm Eamon McEnany. Happy to be joined once again by the former Pitt quarterback John Kinjemi. And no, Tom 3 does not get to take the field for the Tigers, but we are looking at an offense here that's putting up record numbers for South Florida.
Well, South Florida is on pace to set school records in both scoring and total offense. They lead the AAC in scoring at 43 points a game and second in rushing offense, 30 points in 13 straight games. That's the longest active streak in the FBS. And they're led by their quarterback, Quentin Flowers. He knows how to get outside, and this team knows how to get in the end zone. 412 rushing yards against the Naval Academy. That was the school record. 32 rushing touchdowns, also a school record. So, Eamon, this is a team that is very offensive. They like to score points in bunches, and they know how to do it both through the air, but especially on the ground.
Willie Taggart, the head coach, also the offensive coordinator, telling us this year that it's fun calling plays when a quarterback has complete control of the offense with plenty of playmakers. His counterpart tonight, also a very young, bright offensive mind, Mike Norvell, but he has a stud on defense who will be very active tonight.
A matchup nightmare. Jannard Avery at the middle linebacker position. He can line up on the inside as a traditional middle linebacker. He can rush from that position and cause havoc for opposing quarterbacks and offensive tackles, but he also knows how to get his hands on the quarterback and the football. He's the only non-defensive back with 2 or more pick sixes this season. So not only can Memphis score on offense, but Avery and company on defense knows how to get it in the end zone.
As John mentioned, the 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown. In the words of the offensive coordinator, Darren Hiller, he leads a group that's like ants on candy. They fly around the ball. So USF won the toss. They elected to receive, so we'll get a look at their explosive offense right off the bat. Coach Norvell telling us he thinks the return game for both teams will be huge. Dearness Johnson and Rodney Adams back. Most teams try to kick the ball away from Adams. And that's exactly what happens here as Elliott drills it back out of the end zone for a touchback. So mission accomplished on the kickoff for the Tigers. We started the broadcast talking about Quentin Flowers, and John, he's on the cusp of putting up milestones in 2 categories.
Well, he's trying to be the second player this season behind Louisville's quarterback Lamar Jackson to have 2,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. And he's taken his game to another level in this offense. He knows what he wants to do in the pass offense. He knows how to run the football, and it'll be critical for him to do that tonight.
As you see there, an injured Memphis player on the kickoff. No confirmation on the number, who it might be. See Coach Norvell out there. The star wide receiver taking a look as well.
It's something you hate to see to start a football game with 2 teams. We were on the field pre-game. Both teams were really excited to get into this game, and we just hope for Memphis and South Florida on a cold night that on this injury, in fact, it's not as serious as it looks.
Certainly a scary situation here. Didn't see it live, following the track of the ball go out of the end zone. That's where most of the eyes of everyone here in the stadium went. This is right at about the 18-yard line. Now they're able to roll the player over and get him on the stretcher.
And you can see players from both teams taking a knee. This is something that, as bad as you want a victory or as bad as you want to win in any particular game, safety of the players always comes first, and sportsmanship, and that's why you see both teams taking a knee.
So now Miller comes over to his teammates. Coach Norvell starting to walk over to the sideline as well. We're going to step aside. We'll be back with an update on the injured player from Memphis after this. Back here at Memphis, an unsettling situation to start the game on the kickoff touchback. A Memphis player is injured and unfortunately has not really been able to move since being tended to. No confirmation on the number and the name of the player.
Wayman, you mentioned it's unsettling because of the amount of time that has gone by from the opening kickoff to now, and
we're being told it's the senior defensive back B.J. Ross out of Florida who went down on the kickoff return team and was hit high. John, as you mentioned, the adrenaline was there for this game, a critical game in the American, and the opening kickoff. Certainly, you know, everyone wants to get that first hit in. But this looks like the result of a hit that was too high. Certainly thoughts and prayers now with that young man and his family. B.J. Ross, senior defensive back out of Florida. Now they're able to lift the stretcher up. So certainly, if and when we receive an update on BJ, we will pass it along.
yeah, our thoughts and prayers with BJ. You're right on the opening kickoff, the ball going clearly out of the end zone and well away from the football. A big collision close to the South Florida sideline around the 20-yard line. Could see in the golf cart that looked like B.J. Ross was moving that left hand and arm, which is always a very good sign.
You see players from South Florida give their encouragement. So again, any update we receive, we will pass along. I hate to be trivial about this, but you turn your attention to football, and John, you played the game at this level. You went through this. You're all jacked up to play, and now just like that, you're playing again after you see, you know, a teammate go through that.
It's always difficult for both teams, no matter if it's your teammate or the opposing teammate, to get back into the rhythm and get your mindset back on the football game.
So now Marlon Mack comes in motion, comes in the backfield and gets a carry. Across the 30, he's hit hard at the 32. It was Chris Morley bringing him down. And they call it 9-5 when Flowers hands off to Mack. But Flowers now a veteran in this offense, and they're going quickly. They empty the backfield. They have a bunch set to the right with Mack. They swing it out on the now route to Adams. He gets across the 30, gets the first down, gets out to the 40. So Rodney Adams with a tough run, brought down by Chris Morley. First down, Bulls.
You will see plenty of formations, lots of motion, and lots of number 9, Quentin Flowers, in this offense.
Mack now in the backfield, bunch set to the left. They give it to Mack. Nothing doing on this play, maybe a yard. Tigers ready for him, led by Donald Pennington and Jannard Avery, who we discussed in the open, junior out of Grenada, Mississippi.
Pennington's one of those defensive tackles, that nose tackle, difficult to move in the run game for Memphis.
Bulls right back up at the line of scrimmage. Now motion. Blown up. Adams gets dropped for a massive loss. Ernest Suttles with the penetration in the TFL.
All you need is a crease as one of those down defensive linemen, and Suttles is able to split the block right off of the block of Amichia and gets into the backfield. Big tackle for loss on second down.
Loss of 9, his 3rd TFL on the season. So now certainly off schedule for the Bulls here on 3rd and 18.
Always have to account for Quentin Flowers scrambling and extending plays with his legs.
And here it is, design quarterback draw, and he has a huge hole. He gets the first down into Memphis territory. So the spy, if there was one, was not awake on that play.
Big formation to the field. Flowers goes away from that formation, and Memphis loses contain. You cannot do that on an athlete with the talent of Quentin Flowers at quarterback.
Certainly both defensive coordinators this week telling us the key is to set the edges and play well on the perimeter. Now Memphis showing blitz on the now route again. Back to Adams. He breaks one tackle. Still on his feet at the 40, the 30. He could go, the 20, the 10. Touchdown Bulls. 49 yards. The fastest player on the team took it to the house.
South Florida knows how to score and score quickly, but you have to tackle on the perimeter if you're going to keep the Bulls out of the end zone. Memphis doesn't do it. Rodney Adams splits 2 tackles, goes the distance along the Bulls sideline to open up the scoring tonight.
Just like that, 6 plays, 75 yards. 54th touchdown this season. Now, interesting development here. The backup kicker, Brandon Bear, is on for South Florida. Emilio Nadelman, hurt, unable to go tonight. And Bear, a graduate transfer from Jacksonville, makes it 7-0. So no issues in the kicking game there. But boy, Rodney Adams, fast and tough.
The South Florida Bulls can score in bunches, and when you have athletes on the perimeter that know how to break tackles in the open field, you're not going to catch the Bulls tonight.
ESPNU College Football is brought to you by the Beer Cheese Bacon Burger, only at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, and Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance.
Welcome back to Memphis. Earlier today, a C-17 from the 164th Airlift Wing, Tennessee Air National Guard, here in Memphis with a fly over the Liberty Bowl. Good crowd on hand out early. Gorgeous day here in Memphis. The fans came out to see this one. There we see Brandon Bear, who was okay on the extra point, kicking off now. The kick return game will play a factor here. Tony Pollard, 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown this season, and this will be returnable. Except he falls down, ball still loose. And Henderson, it appears, fell on it to keep it Memphis ball.
Eamon, we were down on the field pre-game. There's a lot of wind, and you have to negotiate that in the kicking game, and that wind is blowing from left to right as you watch the game. So that ball kicking into the wind for the Bulls, and luckily enough for Memphis, they were able to get on it, but Tony Pollard did not play the football cleanly, and Henderson falls on the loose football.
And you see Henderson take the shot there as he was on the ground. He limped off. He appears all right, but he is a key factor in this diverse offense that Riley Ferguson runs. He is a quarterback playing with confidence now.
He is, and he has to get the running game going to control the tempo of the game to keep Quentin Flowers in that South Florida Bull offense on the sidelines.
All right, no issues with Henderson. He's right out there to get the start, and he gets the ball right up the middle. A strong run for the first down by the freshman out of Mississippi. Khalid McGee with the tackle. Now Memphis likes to go quickly as well. Stacked receivers to both sides. They stick with the run game, and Henderson has a hole again, and he just lowers the shoulder and carries the tackler, Augie Sanchez, for a yard or two. Another first down.
Exactly what Memphis wanted to do to open the football game. Establish the line of scrimmage, get the running game going. That's only going to pay off later for quarterback Riley Ferguson.
Henderson stays out there. They give it to him. Why not? This time he slips. Maybe a pickup of 2. This is a player who was the Mississippi Player of the Year last year in high school, and we're talking to the offensive coaches. He's really improved and coming along.
Those north-south runs to open up the game were impressive, and if he stayed in the hole on that particular play, he might be still running to the goal line.
2nd and 8. South Florida showing pressure. Now it backs off. 8 on the play clock. Back to Henderson up the middle. And it's going to be 3rd and medium. He's brought down by Deidrin Sanat, number 10 up front. Sanchez, the leader of this defense, in on the play as well.
We saw South Florida convert on a 3rd and very long to extend their drive. This will be Memphis offensively, their first attempt on 3rd down. They have to find a way to stay on the field.
It was a quarterback keeper for Flowers on 3rd and 18. Here comes pressure from the Bulls. Quick release, low throw. Let's see where they mark it. They say incomplete, doesn't matter anyway. Looking for Tony Pollard. So not what Memphis was looking for offensively here after the Bulls put up 7 on their opening drive.
And that's one that Tony Pollard would love to have back. That would extend the drive, keep this momentum offensively going for Memphis.
Spencer Smith on to punt. Dearness Johnson back to return.
Back to receive number 2, Dearness Johnson.
Memphis takes its first time out of the half.
So Memphis takes a timeout.
I think they had 10 out on the field on that special teams
30-second
punting
timeout.
unit. So the Memphis sideline decides to take time out, and head coach Mike Norvell going to talk it over and what happened on the substitution there. That's one of those simple ones. You don't want to waste a timeout early in a football game.
So Memphis about to give the ball back to South Florida, which marched down the field with, as John mentioned, a key conversion on 3rd and 18, and then Adams with the now route. But we're also going to get a heavy dose of Marlon Mack, we would expect. Good high kick. Johnson with the fair catch signal. And he makes the grab safely at the 15. So we didn't see a whole lot of Mack on that opening drive, but he is certainly their go-to guy in the running game. And John, you mentioned it. You know, he's been around the block a few times for this program.
Yeah, it seems like Marlon Mack's been there a long time, and he has. And he's school record with over 3,200 yards in rushing, a school record 28 touchdowns in 5 100-yard games in 2016, 18 100-yard games, which is also a school record. So this is a guy that knows what he's doing with his hands on the football.
11 touchdowns this season. The school record's 13, but they're looking to throw, and it's high. Incomplete. Looking for Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Intended for number 11, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and it is incomplete. Brings up 2nd down, 2nd and 10 from the 15.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10. So look at Mack.
Averaging 7 yards per carry. This is a guy that you want to get involved early and often in a football game.
Now Memphis showing pressure off the edge. I mentioned 11 touchdowns. That's 4th in the American Athletic Conference in scoring. Now they run the option. They pitch it to Mack. He gets tripped up. It's out near the 20. Ernest Suttles with the tackle. South Florida again going quickly. Bring up 3rd and 7. Not necessarily a passing situation for the Bulls.
Not with Quentin Flowers and his ability to run the football. It might be a pass called currently, but he may end up scrambling for a 1st down.
Tigers looking to bring pressure from that left side. Now they back off with 10 on the play clock. 5 on the play clock. They give it to Mack to the left. Looking to turn the corner, he does not. Shy of the 1st down. This time it was Jonathan Cook coming up and making the tackle that he didn't make on Adams on the play that went for a touchdown.
Good set of downs by Memphis defensively. They come out, they stymie the running game a little bit on 1st and 2nd down. They get an errant pass on 1st down. They come up and tackle this time, Eamon, to your point, in the open field, and they should get good field position as a result.
Jonathan Hernandez on to punt. Low one, right to Miller. Gets by 1 man, and then lunges out near the 50. So good field position for the Tigers. So Miller looking to make another big explosive play, but he's going to have to wait. We're back to Memphis. Tiger ball after this. John, Whatever coaches, scouts, recruiting gurus, whoever thought Anthony Miller wasn't worthy of a scholarship coming out of high school, they were wrong.
They should be fired. That's what they should be doing right now, be unemployed, because this guy knows how to catch the football and he knows how to get into the end zone. He's worked himself into a position that he's this much of a threat offensively for Memphis.
Memphis native, former walk-on, but they stick with the run, and Henderson gets met at the 50 and taken down. You take a look about the last 2 games for Anthony Miller, Tulsa and then SMU, unguardable.
He's one of those leaders offensively, and he just continues to make plays. 16 receptions, 4 touchdowns, and over 20 yards per catch. That's good in any offense.
5 100-yard receiving games on the season. Back to Henderson. The Bulls have tightened it up against the running game after he had 2 explosive runs on the first play. Tajay Fullwood brings him down, but again, 3rd and medium for Ferguson and the Tigers.
It is imperative for Memphis to take this field position, convert on 3rd down, and find points early in this first quarter. South Florida does such an excellent job running sideline to sideline on defense. They make you earn it on offense.
As he tried to get it to Miller here on 3rd and 4. Miller in motion. Ferguson rolls away, and that pass is knocked down. Number 98, Mike Love. 6'4" Love got his big paw on it. It'll be another punt for the Tigers.
Athletic, very quick off the edge. Love has that huge wingspan, gets a hand on the football, and that's a great set of downs for South Florida. They had instant field position.
We spoke too soon. They're going to go for it. With the field position, maybe catch South Florida off guard. And again, when you're playing a team that scored 30-plus points in 13 straight, you need points. Will they run the play? 5 on the play clock. Yep. Nope. Quick kick by Ferguson. And it dies. Do they get there? What a play in special teams. Good hustle.
Is that Tony Pollard down there?
Jacoby Hill made. Yeah, probably was Tony Pollard. Down at the 4-yard line, but it's kept out of the end zone, so Memphis gets exactly what it was looking for there on that quick kick by Ferguson. A reminder, our Week 10 Monday Night Football matchup featured 2 of the best receivers in the NFL. It's A.J. Green and the Bengals, who come into this one off the bye, taking on Odell Beckham Jr. and the 5-3 Giants at MetLife Stadium. Our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's at 6, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. A.J. Green's already had a huge game against one New York team earlier this year. That was against the Jets in the opener. On the ground, Dearness Johnson. Brought down. Gang tackled there at the 6. Jannard Avery in on the play, along with Chris Morley, injured Tiger, down on the field. That's DeMarco Montgomery, senior out of Alabama. So they help him up a little bit. We're going to step aside. Back to Memphis after this. DeMarco Montgomery able to walk off on his own power. Appears though he has suffered a shoulder injury, so he's been taken into the locker room to be looked at by the training staff. Now it's 2nd and 7. Dearness Johnson in the backfield with Flowers. They run the sweep to Adams, and he could go again. The 30, the 50. One man's got an angle. He's not going to get him. 92 yards. The jet sweep. Jets all the way to the end zone.
We talked about the points that South Florida can score and how quickly they can score. That's the Bulls' 55th touchdown this season, another record set by this offense. Rodney Adams went 49 on the first touchdown, 92 there in a blur and ran away from everyone in blue.
So Bear on for the extra point. Flag on the kick. So the extra point was good, but let's see what the call is.
Offside. Number 8 of the defense.
It's offside
Fouls decline.
on
The try is
Memphis.
good.
John, when you look at the game notes and you read the scouting report and it says Rodney Adams, fastest player on the team, they're not lying. I believe it.
I'm a believer. When you play South Florida defensively, you have to be able, as you said earlier in the game, to set the edge on defense and gain leverage. Memphis defensively, twice now, they've been burned. They haven't been able to get upfield and make Adams go inside. When he gets outside and he's in the open, you are not going to catch Rodney Adams. This is a guy that has world-class speed, and he just gets the head down, the shoulders pumping, and the legs going. And 92 yards later, it's 14-0.
This is a Memphis defense that gave up a ton of points against Navy and Tulsa. The coaches were very proud with how they responded last week against SMU, a team that can put up points as well and likes to go quickly as well. But they're on their heels right off the start now.
And they're at a whole 14-0, and they haven't done anything offensively that gives you a threat that they're going to come back very quickly.
Tony Pollard, after another drop, takes it all the way out to the 26. Let's check in with the studio. Wow, look at a happy, smiling. Oh, who's buying the sodas after tonight's game,
I might
John?
not be able to sleep tonight. That was a great win by the Panthers.
So Clemson undefeated no more. Now here Ferguson rolls it, throws it out to Henderson. Brought down by Nate Godwin. Henderson's been very busy today in the offense. True freshman. Stays out there. And swinging out on the now route to Miller. And he gets the first down. Good blocking on the perimeter.
Daniel Hurd out in front of there, blocking on the perimeter, as you said, allowing Anthony Miller to move the chains for Memphis offensively.
Ferguson has plenty of weapons to choose from and playmakers, no doubt about that. Now they try the other side to Pollard, had to go back and reach for it. He's knocked out of bounds at the 45. So a positive play on first down for the Tigers.
Good adjustment by Pollard, going back and turning his body, contorting it away from his own goal line. Gets the football and makes a positive play on first down.
Now Dorland Dorsey is the veteran behind Ferguson in the pistol. Twins to both sides. An electric start here for South Florida on the road. Two big plays by Rodney Adams. That's been their calling card, and Memphis now looking to answer. Dangerous throw, too high.
Looked like Riley Ferguson was anticipating field pressure, changed the play to a combination route to the short side, and South Florida had it played perfectly.
You hate to say a critical third down with 6 minutes left to go in this first quarter, but for Coach Norvell, you certainly need to sustain this drive.
Well, you have to keep Quentin Flowers and especially Rodney Adams on the sidelines.
Dorcius in the backfield. Miller in motion. They give it to Dorcius, and he has the first down and then some. Into the open field. One tackle away from going to the house, but Nate Godwin brings him down. So Dorland Dorcius with a burst.
Eamon, you mentioned it. Memphis has athletes as well. They have them on the perimeter, and they have it in the backfield. And Dorland Dorcius, he almost picked him up and put him down into the end zone, but that's a nice spark for this set of downs.
Down to the Bull 32. Pickup of 22 yards. Now Ferguson looking for it all. Overshoots his man, Phil Mayhew.
Eamon, what made that pitch and catch tough was Tony Pollard and Mayhew on the outside running the exact same routes on go routes, but they were right next to each other. You have to have separation. You have to have Pollard down the hash that would allow the wide receiver some room and a little bit clearer picture for Riley Ferguson to throw the football to.
Now to Dorcius. Met at the 30 after a short gain. Daniel Awolake in on that play along with Augie Sanchez. Ferguson started his collegiate career at Tennessee. We mentioned his odyssey, was out of college football, was building fences, and then got back into it at Coffeyville Community College.
I think he likes this job a little bit better.
A little bit better. Threw a football at a stop sign to turn it around to slow down traffic, the legend has it, at the fence building job, but now he just wants to throw it to complete at least 8 yards for a first down. Here comes pressure up the middle. Lobs it up, man is open. Too far. Had Darrell Henderson on the wheel route, and maybe he needed to lunge a little bit more for that play.
When you have a running back in space that's not used to going down the field and catching wheel routes, that's a tough one, but you've got to be able to come up with that play. You've got 3 steps behind a South Florida defender, and that ball looked like he just lost it or misjudged it in the end zone.
So now they're going to settle for the field goal attempt. 47 yards for Jake Elliott, the all-conference kicker. This is certainly in his range. But John, we were down here earlier with the wind playing games.
I think he may have misjudged it.
But he got it in. So he played the hook, and he puts the Tigers on the board. So they get the points, but not the touchdown they were looking for. And a reminder, this college football season, stream every game live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. Download the app or visit watchespn.com today. I guess we can tell you the truth now. John had that thing working down there with the Pitt-Clemson game in crunch time.
I did. I made sure I was charged coming to the stadium tonight.
And a big win by the Panthers in the ACC that'll certainly shake up the college football playoff standings. And that makes Washington's game later tonight all that much bigger to solidify their spot.
You know, you're talking about Clemson and the college football playoff. There was no indication over the last couple of weeks that the Panthers were going to be able to go down to Death Valley and play a game that would be competitive, let alone come away with a last-second victory.
Ernest Johnson and Rodney Adams, I know one thing, they do not want to see the ball in the hands of 87 and White. That's for sure. It's up to Elliott to deliver another touchback.
He's got the wind at his back. This shouldn't be a problem for him kicking this football out of the end zone.
And on cue, Adams will make the catch. Faked everyone out, but does obviously set for the knee. Coming in, South Florida, 15 plays of 40-plus yards. Adams has already made that 17.
He's been outstanding. This is a guy that knows how to catch the football and then do something with it. 49 yards later after that harmless pass out in the flat, he breaks a couple of tackles and takes it down the South Florida sideline and finishes as a true sprinter as he finishes the 92-yarder. And there's no one in blue and gray that's going to catch 87 when he has a head start. And that's 2 plays that have been explosive for the Bulls offensively.
They empty the backfield. They throw it out to Marlon Mack. Gets across the 30, down to the 31. Brought down by Austin Hall. So already tonight, Rodney Adams has 2 touchdowns. And now Flowers with time has Mack open, who makes the grab. Spins his way to the 46.
What a great catch by Marlon Mack. Talk about a running back getting loose down the middle of the field. That's a great athletic catch to track the football by Marlon Mack.
Now another different formation, stacked to one side, bunch to the other. They swing it out to Mack, and they're ready for it. Dropped right away. That'll be a loss of a yard. Arthur Mollett came up. He got there a little angry. This defense a little tired of seeing 87 and White run right by him.
Someone on Memphis on this defense needs to make a stand. They have to come out and make a play. Mollett doing a good job there on the edge.
2nd and 11. You know, we mentioned coming on the air that Quentin Flowers had an opportunity to go over the 2,000-yard passing mark and the 1,000-yard rushing mark. He's hit the 2,000-yard passing mark. Of course, 49 coming on the play to Adams. Back to Mack, and another tackle behind the line of scrimmage. That looked like Jared Gentry, the big fellow with the penetration. So now Flowers in a passing situation on 3rd and 11 and looking to add to that total. That's now gone over 2,000 for the season. 2,017 yards passing. And the number there that's key is 5 interceptions.
Yeah, he's done a great job protecting the football at that quarterback position for the Bulls, and he also has done a nice job with raising his percentage. He's been on target and on time much more in 2016.
3rd and 11. Can the Tigers take away Rodney Adams? They run it to Mack, and he gets the first down. So on the first drive, they had 3rd and 18, and they got it on a quarterback keeper. Here on 3rd and 11, they get it with a running play.
That's just too easy. You get a team in 3rd and long situations, and twice the Bulls have been able to stay on the field, keep momentum offensively, and do it on the ground. This is a quarterback run set right here.
Bunch set to the right, Dearness Johnson, and a stack set to the left. And now Flowers out of the pocket. Stays on his feet to make maybe a yard or 2, and it looked like they had a shot at him behind the line of scrimmage. But obviously it's a cliche, but he is a huge threat when the play breaks down.
You can't give up if you're a defender on the edge. You can't give up if you have a job to do to set that edge and keep your quarterback inside of your leverage. Number 9 is going to be able to find a way to escape most times.
Pressure from up the middle. The slant is dropped. Incomplete pass. Good coverage. Looking for Adams. Make that Elkanah Dillon. But Austin Hall right there with him. So again, 3rd and long. Opportunity for the Tigers to force a kick.
You would think so, but this is where South Florida's felt most comfort. They really don't veer away from their game plan. They've run it twice on 3rd and 8, on 3rd and 15. Now you have 3rd and 9. Let's see what quarterback Quentin Flowers does here to try to convert this 3rd down opportunity.
He's going to take a timeout and talk it over with 1:57 left to play in the quarter. South Florida 2 of 3.
First time out of the half. It's a 30-second timeout.
On 3rd downs this year, as John mentioned on this game, and John mentioned the 2 were running plays on 3rd and long. So Coach Taggart, we had some fun with him this week, saying, Coach, you're now the old man in this matchup. He's got 40 going up against a 35-year-old.
I didn't get a chance to check to see if he had the graze that we were talking about during our conference call, but he's looking pretty good to me.
And now for our championship drive, brought to you by Dr. Pepper, our championship drive update. And Nathan Peterman throws over 5 touchdowns.
Wow.
Did that break your record?
No, Danny has it at 6. I had 5 once. That's right, but not in a big game like this against the Clemson Tigers on the road.
Alabama rolls against Mississippi State, and Ohio State lays it on Maryland. And, you know, in the Big Ten, they're going to go for style points now. Pretty much everyone's going to go for style points, but an impressive performance by J.T. Barrett and the Buckeye offense. Now 3rd and 9. Trips to the right, 1 receiver to the left. Now Mack in motion. They give it to Mack. Change of direction. And this time they set the edge and contain Marlon Mack. Jonathan Cook brings him down.
That's a great job defensively by Memphis, having a player get outside leverage on either a runner or a pass receiver, turn it back in to where the help's coming from. And that was finally executed properly by Memphis and their defense.
Looked like it was Austin Hall out there set the perimeter that forced Mack to stop on a dime and change his direction. So now Miller back to receive the punt. Good high short kick. Miller comes up, lets it go, and they down it inside the 10. So Hernandez does his job. And now Ferguson and the Tiger offense comes back out on the field. John, what do the Tigers do to get Miller loose? They haven't really been able to get the passing game going.
I think they have to stay in their game plan. It's a lot of football game left. Down 14-3, minute 13 left to go in the first quarter. I think Ferguson, as we've seen this year, he can make all the throws around the field. He has to take advantage, though. They had a couple opportunities to get an easy 6 points. You know, one was a mistake by a running back not being able to adjust to the football. The other you have to make as a quarterback. So when those opportunities arise down the field, Ferguson needs to hit them.
Henderson in the backfield from the 9. They give it to Henderson to the left. Make that Patrick Taylor, number 6, the freshman out of Humble, Texas. And he finishes that run strong, introducing himself to Tajay Fullwood. There's some fresh legs out there for the Tigers.
Always love a running back that finishes runs. Lower the shoulder and be strong at the end of those runs.
They go right back to him, close for a first down. Looks like he's a hair shy, so that'll bring up 3rd and short. 3rd and 1.
You've got to be able to win at the line of scrimmage here on 3rd and short.
They go the quarterback sneak, and the pile pushes forward for the first down. So Ferguson at 6'4", 210. Able to get the first down on the sneak. They do not have to run a play here at the end of the quarter if they want to take it to the other end. I believe 10 seconds on the game clock. Coach Norvell's trying to get their attention to say, let's put on the brakes and talk about this one.
That's the end of the first quarter.
So I believe we said there would be some explosive plays tonight, and South Florida has delivered. Should I say Rodney Adams has delivered. 49 yards in the passing game, breaking a couple tackles. Then in the running game, the longest play in South Florida history, 92 yards to the house. Bulls lead by 11. Back here at Memphis for the start of the second quarter, Eamon McEnany along with John Kinjemi. 2 big plays in the offense for South Florida by Rodney Adams. They lead 14-3. Now Ferguson steps up, avoids the sack, slides. Let's see where they mark him down. Just shy of the first down at the 29. So Ferguson showing off his ability to run.
Sometimes as a quarterback, stepping up through the pocket is your best friend. You clear the traffic and you're able to be an athlete and get 9 yards on first down.
Now they go to the pistol with Taylor behind him. Quick throw over the middle, complete to Tony Pollard. Out to the 41.
Little run pass option for Memphis as they're getting a little bit more rhythm in their offense on this set of downs.
12-yard gain. Now back to the freshman. Down at the 45. Augie Sanchez with another tackle. Colin McGee also in on the play. 2nd and 6. Here comes pressure off the edge. Low throw. He makes the grab to Miller. Miller gets by Godwin and then hit late.
That might be 15.
And there's the flag. Absolutely. The official closest to the play did not call it, but there is a flag on Ronnie Hoggins. So our referee tonight, Michael Roach, will give us the call. Talking it over with the field judge. See Willie Taggart saying that guy didn't call it, and he was right there.
After the play, personal foul for late hit out of bounds on the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
I think the back judge, even though he was further away, may have been able to see where the receiver was going out of bounds and where the contact took place. You're right, there was an official right there. The line judge should have made the call, but it was the correct call, and it's going to give instant field position to Memphis offensively.
Now Miller in motion. Ball marked at the 37. Ferguson off the play fake. Looking for Miller for 6. And it's dropped. That was there. Hoggins had the coverage, but that ball was there.
You know, when we talked to head coach Mike Norvell, he told us this week, we need to hit the explosive plays down the field. Well, there was 3 opportunities. This one probably the best chance because you have your best receiver going up, climbing the ladder, trying to make the catch. And Anthony Miller just can't come down with it, and it's one he should have had.
Drops for the whole team was certainly an issue in the loss to Tulsa. I thought they had taken care of that last week against SMU. Well, instead, it's 2nd and 10. 5 on the play clock. Ferguson feeling the heat out of the pocket. and throws it away. So now it'll be 3rd and long.
Really good job by Riley escaping the pressure and getting the football across the line of scrimmage. But good pressure, good heat in the pocket again by South Florida. This is a defense that can run, they can get upfield, they can make it aggravating for a quarterback to feel comfortable in the pocket.
And they have been forcing things in the passing game. They've been getting them. 3rd and 10 now. Memphis 2 for 5 in 3rd down conversions tonight. 5 on the play clock. They get it off. Here comes pressure again, looking to set up the screen, and it's behind Pollard. Make that Patrick Taylor. So now a decision for Coach Norvell. He's got a great kicker who has a 56-yarder on his resume.
That could have been a big play if Ferguson was able to convert that screen. I don't know if he could locate the running back there on 3rd down.
John, 4th and 10's low percentage. You got one of the best kickers in the country. What do you think of this decision?
I think they know they need to score more than probably 30 points tonight to win this game.
Could be another quick kick, which they executed earlier for 41 yards and downed inside the 5.
They may want to call timeout and think about this.
Coach Norvell a little frustrated.
Memphis takes its 2nd time out of the half.
So there's a break in the action. We'll step aside as well. Been a beautiful week here in Memphis and a beautiful Saturday for football, but now they need to come up with a plan for 10 more yards.
ESPNU College Football is brought to you by Kraft Real Mayo and Dove Men Plus Care. Care makes a man stronger.
Riley Ferguson and the Tigers down by 11, facing a 4th and 10, and they're keeping the offense out there after the timeout. Steps up, has green turf ahead of him, and will get the 1st down and more inside the 10 and hit hard. Khalid McGee lowered the boom, but not after a 29-yard run by Riley Ferguson.
Head coach Mike Norvell deciding he wanted to keep his offense out there, and it turns out to be a great decision after Riley Ferguson escapes the heat in the kitchen, gets outside, and makes a big play to continue this drive. Now Memphis inside the 10-yard line.
The throw on the slant behind the receiver. No signal yet.
He may have come up with that.
No signal. They're saying he caught it at the 1. So it's Anthony Miller making the grab, but no touchdown. Now again, well, this could be reviewed up top, but Memphis wants to go quickly. They get the sneak. Touchdown, Memphis. So somewhat fitting that it's Ferguson getting the touchdown after he came up with the big play on 4th and 10.
Huge run on 4th down. He eludes pressure in the pocket, then finds Miller inside the 1, and then they quarterback sneak. And probably one of the greatest feeling in the world as a quarterback when your linemen are on the ground, they're trying to pull you over the goal line to get you across to break that plane. And Riley Ferguson comes up excited about getting into the end zone.
So they go 91 yards in 13 plays. We mentioned the pickup on 4th and 10. Credit Miller with the tough catch down at the goal line as well. So now Elliott on for the extra point. And it's good. And as expected, points aplenty here in the Liberty Bowl.
Being aggressive on 4th down for head coach Mike Norvell and their offense turns out and turns into points for Memphis offensively. Riley Ferguson does a great job of moving the chains on 4th down. Then he finds his playmaker, Anthony Miller, on a quick slant, an acrobatic catch, and a quarterback sneak later. It's Memphis, their deficit, only 4 points now heading into the 2nd quarter.
As always, this time of year, we like to salute all of our nation's veterans as we take a look at some of the courageous soldiers from around the globe proudly showing off their school pride. We, of course, thank you all for your service to our country and our freedom. And Memphis, the home to Army and Naval ROTC programs, so a strong military influence here at Memphis. And Certainly an important weekend here for our country to salute those who defend our rights.
Our brightest, our bravest, and our best.
Tonight, Rodney Adams has been the brightest for South Florida, hoping to get a chance that the wind can hold this up, and it does. So returnable from the 4. And they are ready for it. And that fires up the Tiger sidelines and the Tiger fans, but that was about the one time they've gotten a good hit on 87 and white.
There haven't been many opportunities to touch Rodney Adams tonight, and it's been indicative in his numbers. He's done a terrific job of creating plays in the total yards. Compare 139 to 91. That's one player and an entire team, and that's only in the first quarter of tonight's contest.
He had more yards than Memphis in his 1 touchdown run.
That's right.
92-yard touchdown run, but Memphis has picked up the offense. And now it's South Florida's turn to answer. Here's Marlon Mack. Nice move. Flag on the play. Still on his feet across the 30, across the 40 where he goes out of bounds. But again, a flag back at about the 17-yard line. And everyone's heading back to the line of scrimmage.
Holding number 73, the offense. After this is the goal, first down.
So Jeremy Hall, the left guard.
Jeremy Hall trying to get out in front of Mack, and it's a nice little takedown by Hall around the 18-yard line. So that's going to negate a nifty run by Marlon Mack.
So now the Bulls are off schedule to start the drive and inside their own 10.
They usually look to Rodney Adams to get him out of a hole like this.
The last time they were in a situation like this, 87 took it 92. First and 19. Flowers keeps it himself. He's in the open field. And he goes down at the first down marker, got the first down out to the 29. And again, remember closing in on 1,000 rushing yards on the season. Picks up 20 there.
That time Quentin Flowers used Rodney Adams as a decoy. Couldn't rip the football out of his stomach, but he knew he had a lane.
Now they throw it out to Mack to the right. And again, John, that last play, it was a missed tackle. The Tigers not wrapping up or taken down.
Yeah, that's something that's going to have to improve as this game progresses if Memphis is going to have an opportunity to challenge and stop the Bulls offensively.
4 receivers to the wide side. Flowers has all day, checks it down to Mack. In the open field, Hall can only usher him out of bounds after he picks up the first down.
Eamon, the pressure of the tempo that South Florida is playing with offensively on certain plays has Memphis scrambling defensively.
Dearness Johnson in the backfield. First and 10 from the 45. Here's Johnson. Patiently waiting for a hole that never developed, but he plowed ahead for a couple of yards. Jannard Avery with the tackle. John, you mentioned it right from the get-go. Their ability to play so many multiple formations and do it quickly, the pressure that must put on the defense.
They spread you out, and with athletes that run like they do, it doesn't take a whole lot of space to create big plays.
That pass off the mark. Looking for Ryshean Bronson. So now 3rd and 6.
Cold night tonight. It's tough to catch and throw for Flowers. He's done a nice job so far, but on that one, I don't ever think he had the handle on the football to make an accurate throw downfield.
So mass substitutions here. Adams comes on. Twins to the right. Now Adams in motion. They give it to him again, and he is dropped at the 49. A big hit in space. Who said they were having a hard time tackling? Chris Morley brings him down.
I think I did.
I did.
Chris Morley did an excellent job scanning the offensive backfield and tracking Rodney Adams. He had his eyes on him the entire way. Comes up, and now South Florida going for it on 4th down.
No time to celebrate because they get the first down and more. He is gone. 48 yards. He's over 1,000 yards. More importantly, he just put 6 on the board for the Bulls.
That will quiet the crowd in a hurry. That's all about tempo, about a mindset of what they're trying to do offensively. And head coach Willie Taggart has so much trust in Quentin Flowers and his decision-making in this offense.
Hindsight 2020, but you wonder if Mike Norvell wishes he could have taken a timeout, because clearly I don't think they were ready for South Florida to go for it on 4th down so quickly. And the extra point is good, but what an answer by the Bulls. So Flowers now has 1,013 rushing yards. And he just tacked on 48 to that total. 4th and short, 4th and gone. The Bulls back in control. Well, John, it didn't take long for Quentin Flowers to hit those milestones we talked about at the opening of the broadcast.
He's unbelievable at the quarterback position, not only this year, but tonight. You know, you go over 2,000 yards passing. Now tonight, he's also over 1,000 yards rushing. Explosive plays in this offense have been found everywhere. So Quentin Flowers, along with Louisville's Lamar Jackson, the only 2 players so far this season to achieve those heights.
He makes school history as well here tonight. Here's Henderson, and again with the wind, he'll just have to watch it go into the end zone for a touchback. And again, Tuesday, the unveiling of the college football playoff rankings. And trust me, it'll be a new top 25. It'll be a new top 4. There will be a shakeup as Clemson goes down to Pitt.
Say that again.
Clemson goes down to Pitt. This is the bounce of John Kajemi step all of a sudden.
Some say I have a pebble in my shoe, right?
There you go. It's certainly the wild November weekend here. Just when you think you'll have a quiet weekend of status quo. So much for that. Now Dorland Dorsey is in the backfield. And he gets it to the right. Breaks a tackle. Gets out near the 1st down. They mark him just shy of the 1st down. Augie Sanchez and Deidrin Sanat bring him down.
Terrific balance on that 1st down run by Dorius going off the right side. It's important for Memphis to keep pace with South Florida. They have to continue to keep the pressure on offensively.
That's pretty much the way things have been going in the American this year. Now Ferguson gets it out to Miller. Nice move. And he gets out near midfield. Augie Sanchez hustling back to make the tackle. And now the Tigers looking to go quickly. We approach 9 minutes left in the half. Here comes pressure. They see it. They throw right against it. This is the freshman Taylor. Actually make it Dorcius, my bad. But a good play call by the staff, because that went right against what South Florida ran.
Starting to get 8, 9, 11 yards on consecutive positive offensive plays for Memphis now.
Now Miller comes over to the left, twins to the right on 2nd and short. Henderson back in the backfield. And here's Miller for the 1st down. Brought down by Ronnie Hoggins. Those two are going to get to know each other very well by the end of this ball game.
Aiming a lot of run-pass option plays now for quarterback Riley Ferguson, and he's making really good decisions and when to hand it off and when to pull it and throw it.
Pump. Now he's got to improvise, and he throws it away. So that slows down the drive for now momentarily.
First stalemate of this series offensively for Memphis. They've been getting chunk yardage plays in the running game, some RPOs on the outside, run pass options that he's been on target with, and now they're moving inside of South Florida territory.
Now complete to the tight end. That's Daniel Montiel for a 1st down. So just outside the red zone now with 8 minutes left to play in the half. They go to the running game. There's a huge hole. Right up the middle is Henderson. Touchdown Tigers. 21 yards. I hope they brought enough fireworks to the Liberty Bowl.
That's right. I don't believe the true freshman was touched going off the left side. An enormous hole. A great job by the offensive line, especially on that left side. Blowing an enormous crater in that South Florida defense, and Henderson goes in untouched for the 6 points.
His 4th touchdown of the season. In the rushing game. Elliott on for the extra point. Buckle up, John. We're going to be here for a while.
I think so, Eamon. I think you're going to have to be in the 40s to win this football game. I hope we brought snacks because we're going to be here a while. 21 yards later, Henderson finds himself in the end zone, and we've got ourselves a football game.
It was your job to get snacks.
Brendan Fitzgerald back in studio. Coming up at halftime, Charles Arbuckle joins me to break down the USF explosive run game. Tough day to be a Tiger in the top 10. Auburn upset, and Clemson goes down, which will rearrange the playoff picture. We'll have more on that at the half. Eamon, back to you.
All right, Brendan, looking forward to that. 7:45 left to play here in the second quarter in a critical American Athletic Conference showdown.
We've got ourselves a track meet here, Eamon.
Yes, as advertised. Elliott into the wind. Tries to kick it away from Adams, but Adams moves over to gets it from the 1. And gets taken down with a flag at the 18. So I'd say that might back the Bulls up, but that hasn't been a problem so far here in the first half. But let's see what the call is.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 36 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
So that's on Nate Godwin. So Memphis, the offense took a little while to get going, but they've been clicking now on the last 3 drives.
A little slow out of the gates, but you're right. The last 3 times they've had their hands on the football, you get a field goal, a touchdown, and a touchdown, and you can see the number of plays: 9-play drive, 13-play drive, 7-play drive. So they've done a nice job staying and holding serve against the Bulls offense.
More important positive news for the Tigers. We're receiving a positive update on B.J. Ross. There's a nice run there by Dearness Johnson. He was injured on the opening kickoff, carried off to a local hospital, but he's moving his arms and legs.
Oh, that's great news.
He's being checked out and will remain at that local hospital. So first down pickup on the first play, right back to Johnson. Tumbles across the 20. It's a huge spot here for the Memphis defense to, first of all, get a stop and also flip the field to field position.
Yeah, first things first. They want to try to find a way to slow down the South Florida Bulls and quarterback Quentin Flowers. They need to do it on this set of downs defensively.
They have no answers for the weapons and playmakers of this South Florida offense. Adams in motion. Flowers keeps it himself and cannot get away. Nice tackle by Curtis Akins, redshirt sophomore out of Mississippi.
Akins, only a sophomore, showed his athleticism midway through this season, and one of those guys that runs really well for a linebacker. With Akins and Avery in the middle, this defense should be better than what they've showed through a quarter and a half of football.
Jannard Avery, who we highlighted at the open, only has 1 tackle. Trips to the left, lone receiver to the short side. Flowers pumps. Now he's forced out of the pocket. He's got to beat 1 man for the first down, and he does. Gets it more. And that looked like Akins out there who couldn't bring down Flowers.
Great quickness and terrific feet by Quentin Flowers. He's going to stutter and go in the open field after he's flushed from the pocket. He wanted to go downfield, didn't like what he saw, but watch the stutter and go. Right there, just freezes the young Akins, the linebacker from Memphis, and is able to have the speed to move the chains.
Picks up 15, now off the play fake. Looking deep, has a man. Hung up there, and there's the flag. Looking for Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Chauncey Lanier all over him. And there's a
2 fouls on the play. Holding, number 73 of the offense. Pass interference, number 22 of the defense. Penalties will offset. Replay first down.
So a break for Memphis.
That's 2 holding calls on Hall, the offensive guard for the Bulls, and that really gives a break to Memphis and Chauncey Lanier. First, the hold by Hall, the left guard, number 73. He's going to be in pass protection. Looks like the left arm just gets on the jersey of the pass rusher. Lanier was in great shape. All he had to do was play the football, but he played the helmet and shoulders of the receiver.
Now Johnson, brought down by Morley. Chris Morley with the tackle. Pick up a 5. Right back to Johnson, and this time he's met at the line of scrimmage, and there's another flag. So 2 flags right at the line of scrimmage in that pile. Look like Jonathan Wilson with the tackle.
Personal foul, face mask, number 58 of the defense. 59 penalty added to the end of the run, automatic first down.
So Donald Pennington, and it must have been pretty obvious because 2 officials saw it.
It looked like Gentry and Pennington were penetrating into the Bulls' backfield, but Pennington's going to get called for the personal foul. And there's been a couple of plays that have extended drives like this. Now do the Bulls take advantage, maybe take another shot downfield here on 1st and 10?
Memphis' first penalty that's been accepted for yardage, but it moves it to the Tiger 44. Now off the fake. Into tight coverage, incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Elkanah Dillon.
And Valdez-Scantling was running wide open down the field on the post route. It was a combination route to the short side. Quentin Flowers decided to throw the wheel route. That's where all the coverage was. There was no one down the field on Valdez-Scantling.
Stacked receivers all the way over by the sidelines. But they run it right up the middle. Johnson, first down, taken down at the 32. So Jonathan Cook held on for dear life on the tackle, but it's a new set of downs for the Bulls, who are marching their way towards more points. Now again, remember, they have a backup kicker. It hasn't been an issue yet here tonight because they haven't had to settle for a field goal. The now route, high pass caught. That was Tyree McCants.
The flow on offense for the Bulls is spectacular tonight. They put so much pressure on an opposing defense, sideline to sideline, and then Flowers has been improving his accuracy down the field. That makes it even tougher to defend.
Twins to the right. Mack in the backfield, now motion. And they give it to McCants on the fly sweep, who gets tripped up at the 20, but it's a first down. So now they're right at the red zone with under 4 to play in the half. McCants lost the shoe, so he'll have to come off. But that won't slow down the tempo.
As a defense, when you get close to the 20, now you have to defend all 11. You have to really worry about quarterback run.
Here's Chris Barr looking to get to the corner, and he will not. This time they're ready in the open field. Jonathan Cook, who's been busy tonight, loss of 3.
Jonathan Cook doing a great job coming up from the secondary position and making a terrific open field tackle. You need those negative plays to get the Bulls behind the chains and force them into doing something maybe they're not comfortable doing.
Mack in the backfield. Now Flowers going to keep it himself. Nice move for a... he's still on his feet. And then he gets taken down, but somehow Arthur Mollett brings him down. He got out of that traffic jam and picked up a few extra yards.
He's a superior athlete at the quarterback position. He's bigger and stronger and faster than he appears, and he just keeps continuing to make plays from the position.
3rd and 6. Memphis didn't get off. They're going to have 12 men on the field. That pass was incomplete. Ernest Suttles tipped it, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think they ran that play before that last Tiger defender got off the field.
Another example of the pressure they put and apply on defenses.
Legal substitution, 12 men on the field for the defense, number 6. 5-yard penalty, third down.
So that's Avery. Not fast enough. So that'll make it 3rd and 1. Again, you go back to that timeout they took on a punt. If he'd love to have another timeout left to be able to take one here for his defense at some point.
This is where Johnson can explode into the end zone.
Flowers does not get it. Great tackle in the open space by Curtis Akins, who, if you remember earlier, was dusted by a jitter move by Flowers. But now here we go again quickly on 4th down. The last time they did this, it was a touchdown. 4th and 2. And there's whistles and a flag.
Before the snap, false start, number 11 of the offense, did not get set for a full second. It's a 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So now Willie Taggart has to make a decision. It looks like he's going to send out his backup kicker, Brandon Bear. He kicked a 48-yarder last year for Jacksonville, so he's experienced, but this is his second kick for the Bulls.
I would think if you're head coach Mike Norvell of Memphis, if you only give up 3 on this possession, it's a win.
34-yarder with the win. Good snap, good hold. No good. More than a win. So Bear filling in for Emilio Nadelman can't connect from 34 yards out, and with a $1:59 left to play, the Tigers get the ball back with a chance to take the lead into the locker room.
A little bit of momentum changing right there on that missed field goal. Had a great opportunity, did South Florida, to convert on 3rd down. They get a penalty, back up their kicker, and you mentioned Brandon Bear missing wide left, pulls the kick, and Memphis comes away not giving up any points and getting their offense back on the field with just under 2 minutes to go before halftime.
Just one timeout, and they take over on their own 20. Ferguson throws it out to Henderson. Gets by one man and gets out of bounds out to about the 34. They're going to mark him out. Nigel Harris pushes him out of bounds.
If you're an offensive coach, I think you love watching football tonight right here in Memphis, Tennessee.
Now they're thinking 6, but remember they have one of the best kickers in the country, albeit kicking into the wind. Dangerous throw, incomplete, looking for Pollard along the sideline. Good coverage by Dietrich Nichols.
That was plaster coverage on the outside. Good discipline by Nichols to the short side of the field.
Twins to the right. Anderson now. Out and pass. Long throw. Catch made. You saw the arm strength, and Mayhew goes back to make the grab. But he stayed in bounds, so the clock continues to move. But some arm strength by Ferguson to get it all the way over to the other side of the field.
As he was going down and retreating, so you're right. Good accuracy shown under duress.
3rd and short. 3rd and 2. Call it 3rd and 4. On the slant, dropped. Michael Slade can't bring it in.
That's at least the 4th drop by a Memphis offensive skill position player this evening, and this time it's going to bring the punt unit out. You have to be able to concentrate first on the catch, because if you do catch it and fall down, that's enough to move the chains and stay on the field with 1:12 remaining before halftime.
Mashane Slade with the drop, and now that opens the door for the Bulls. 72 seconds is an eternity for this offense. Johnson lets it go, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So a 58-yard punt, no return, but South Florida with 2 timeouts left and a minute 3 certainly can march down the field and get some more points. And a reminder, you can kick off your NFL Week 10 action on NFL Sunday with us on ESPN at 10 a.m. Eastern, NFL Insiders Sunday edition, with all the early breaking stories and injury news. You'll have Trey Wingo, Adam Schefter, Louis Riddick, and Mark Dominic. Then at 11, it's Sunday NFL Countdown with Wendy Nix, Boomer, Trent Dilfer, Charles Woodson, Matt Hasselbeck, and Randy Moss. We take you right up to kickoff. Both shows are streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. So again, a explosive offense with playmakers all over the field, has 1 minute, 2 seconds, and 2 timeouts to work with. You talk about a turn of momentum. If South Florida could get points here after missing that field goal, that would be a tough momentum changer for the home team. Mack cannot get outside. Chris Morley this time coming up from the safety position to trip him up. And he stayed in bounds, so the clock continues to move.
South Florida, they can get a big play in a hurry. So far tonight, Adams goes 49 yards. Adams goes 92 yards, and Flowers 48, so they can get him in chunks.
Flowers with time has Mack open at the 25. Now does Willie Taggart take a timeout with 30 seconds left? Not yet. I'm very surprised by this.
Yeah, I would have thought if Willie might have taken one around the 30-second mark, they're going to let this go down and be the last play of the half, potentially.
About 19 seconds came off, and then you throw a dangerous pass. A great break on the ball by the DB. That looked like Cook, who's been all over the place. So now 4th and 4 with 5 seconds left.
Yeah, the locker room's down there.
I would think now I would just snap it and have Quentin Flowers run around for 5 seconds.
Absolutely.
Memphis will receive the second half kickoff. Let's see what Willie Taggart has up his sleeve here.
Run to the wide side of the field, potentially.
They toss it to Mack. He gets the first down, but that's all academic. So he takes his 2 timeouts with him into the locker room, but more importantly, he takes a 4-point lead. So both offenses as advertised. South Florida with 3 explosive plays, and Willie Taggart heads into the locker room with a 21-17 lead on Memphis. Let's take you now to the ESPNU halftime report with Brendan Fitzgerald and Charles Arbuckle.
Eamon, thank you very much. 21-17. South Florida over Memphis on the road, looking for their first win at the Liberty Bowl since 2004 when these two squared off in Conference USA. But now, of course, in the American Conference, South Florida looking to keep pace with Temple at the top of the East Division. With Charles Arbuckle, Brendan Fitzgerald, what did you see other than explosive plays as expected from these two offenses?
Well, you know, with Quentin Flowers and that offense, they run the football very well, and it opens up lanes. Adams has had some explosive runs, 92-yard touchdown. But I think the real key is Memphis usually plays very good defense, short throws, explosive runs in the pass game and in the run game. And I think when you see this, Memphis has to stop South Florida from having those plays. Now, this is a long return, or excuse me, reverse run by Adams, and you can see they start one way, come the other, and when he gets outside and outflanks him, Quentin Flowers, you can see his numbers 10 or 15, but again, he just makes the fake and then gets behind those big blockers and is able to find some nice running lanes. What you have to do is make sure you protect and don't give those rushing lanes for him. He's 10 or 15 passing the football, but the running game seems to be hurting Memphis. They need to make some adjustments. They are not stopping the ground game of South Florida so far.
And with Flowers' numbers, over 100 yards passing and rushing in that first half, he's now over 2,000 yards passing this season and 1,000 yards rushing this season. Still with some time left, so he is obviously the key to that Gulf Coast offense, as the Bulls like to call it. Navy is 5-1 in the American Conference West Division and looking for a spot in the American Championship game, 42-40 in a close ball game over Tulsa. Shootout, as you would expect, between those two. Houston gets a win 30-18, and the Cougars 8-2 on the season, 5-2 in conference play.
You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. We thank you for making this Memphis, South Florida game part of your Veterans Day weekend. Eamon McEnany along with John Kangemi. And John, even a quarterback like you has to feel some compassion for the defensive coordinators during halftime who had to go back to the drawing board.
They probably wish they could spend about 25 to 30 minutes on a whiteboard and try to draw up a defense to slow down both offenses. Both teams combined for 629 yards of offense and 38 points in that first half.
So Memphis was able to regroup and make this one closer as South Florida jumped out quickly. But now they will get the ball to start the third quarter. This is Pollard from the 2. It's out across the 30, flag on the play back at the 20. So this one will most likely come back.
During the return, illegal block on the block. Number 50, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Now let's take a look at tonight's game track brought to you by Taco Bell.
A lot of offense in that first half, and it starts with Quentin Flowers. He's the quarterback for South Florida, 10 of 15, 102 yards, but more importantly, 110 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Riley Ferguson's numbers would have been better if it weren't for 3 or 4 drops in the first half, but efficient numbers for him. And then Rodney Adams, what he's done as a pass-catching wide receiver and a running wide receiver have been spectacular. He's been a dual threat for the Bulls offensively.
If you're just joining us in the first half, Quentin Flowers going over the 2,000-yard passing mark and 1,000-yard rushing mark. First South Florida player to do that. And now here's Dorcius to the left. Gets hit hard at the 15. Nigel Harris with the tackle. Gain of 5. Now during the week, the Memphis coaches told us they might try to do some stuff to slow it down. Not necessarily slow down their tempo, but maybe do some window dressing at the line of scrimmage to keep the South Florida offense off the field. Let's see if they do that on this possession. That's complete to Miller for the first down. He gets out of bounds, so that'll stop the clock. Dietrich Nichols takes him out of bounds.
The run-pass option plays for Memphis have worked to the short side of the field. They've done an excellent job of pulling the football. Riley Ferguson has at the quarterback spot.
Patrick Taylor, the freshman out of Humble, Texas, in the backfield with Ferguson now. Twins to both sides. Ferguson keeps it himself, throws into double coverage, and he holds on to it. Phil Mayhew got stuck by Tajay Fullwood, but he hangs on. That was a tough throw.
That's a strong catch by a wide receiver who came into tonight's game not 100%, had a bone bruise, was kind of like a game-time decision, comes in and makes a tough, strong catch in front of his own bench.
16-yard pickup, low throw, catch made by the tight end. Montiel, his second catch of the night. Dietrich Nichols with the tackle. So now Riley Ferguson's in that rhythm that they were looking for this week.
And usually it's the running game that gets him into this rhythm, but it's been the short passing game that he's found open receivers and really starting to ignite this offense to start the third quarter.
Twins to the right, now Miller in motion on the short side. Ferguson keeps it himself. No, he gives it up to Taylor. Taylor still on his feet at the 40, the 30. Knocked out of bounds at the 22. Khalid McGee with the tackle, but Taylor weaves his way all the way down to the 21.
Great play fake by Riley Ferguson and nice patience by Patrick Taylor. All he did was follow big number 54, Drew Kaiser, to the short side of the field. And you see 54 out in front of you, just hug his backside and get going.
Now Ferguson throws on the run. Miller gets away from one man. Gets the first down inside the 10. First and goal, Memphis.
I think at halftime, head coach Mike Norvell said, you know what, about slowing the game down, we're just going to put the pedal down and see if we can get into the 40s before South Florida does.
Ferguson now 11 for 14. Started 5 for 13, 11 of 14 since. Now on the rollout into the end zone. Touchdown, Memphis. Daniel Hurd gives the Tigers their first lead of the night.
Daniel Hurd was the third choice in that progression, and Riley Ferguson did an excellent job of showing off his arm strength. 7 plays, 90 yards, 2:43 off the clock. Ferguson to Hurd for 6.
Second touchdown of the season for the fifth-year senior. Now Elliott on for the extra point. For an 87 straight extra points for Elliott now.
You always want to make a statement coming out of halftime. Riley Ferguson came out on fire, on target, and on time. And the Memphis Tigers now have the lead.
Back here at Memphis, where they know a thing or two about hoops. So a look at John Calipari, but right now basketball on turf for Mike Norvell's football team, as Memphis has outscored the Bulls 24-7 since South Florida led 14-0 in the first quarter in an impressive drive to start off the second half for the Tigers. There's a look at Rodney Adams back with Johnson. And the onside kick, and it's still in, and the Tigers recover it. Miller doing a little bit of everything. Now, was he in bounds with possession? Will be the call. But that caught everyone in white and green off guard.
What a kick, first of all, by Jake Elliott. It is placed perfectly to the wide side of the field, and Anthony Miller looks like he scoops and contains and possesses the football before his lower half of his body is out of bounds. It looked like he had control of the football before his legs or feet touched out of bounds.
First down, Memphis.
What a call by head coach Mike Norvell.
And, you know,
The ruling on the field is that the kick was recovered by their kicking team in bounds. If it is deemed that the receiver did not complete the reception in bounds, we'll have a free kick out of bounds penalty.
now remember, the call on the field was recovery by Memphis. So Frank Cosman upstairs is going to take a look at that. And are you going to have enough video evidence to say maybe on that move to the shoulder it bobbled a little bit?
That's right.
I'm with you. I think he's got the knee down with possession before he touches white.
There has to be indisputable video evidence on the play. And Anthony Miller initially looked like he had possession. Now the ball moves from his hands up through his body to his shoulder. But is it when his body hit out of bounds? That's what the officials are looking at upstairs.
Does he ever lose possession once he grabs it there?
Control.
See, that little shift is what you're looking at.
Yes. The ball crawls through his hands up to his shoulder. By that time, he had rolled out of bounds. So that's what the replay officials are trying to make a decision on.
Two hands on it, in bounds. Then the roll. Still in bounds.
Now remember, just like a catch as a receiver, that ball can move,
right,
but as long as you have control of the football.
I think he does. I think he has two hands on the ball and chesting it against the shoulder pads.
That was the way we saw it initially, Eamon.
Looks like the verdict is in.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It'll be Memphis' ball. The squad have recovered.
So Frank Cosman putting the confirmed stamp on it.
Big momentum boost here.
You know, but John, you know, you mentioned the aggressiveness of that call. You had already had momentum. If you don't get it, you give a great offense, great field position.
Well, we had a game last week with Georgia Southern and Ole Miss where the game really turned on a missed opportunity in that situation exactly.
So now, sudden change. Opportunity here for the Tigers from the 49. Dorcius makes a man miss. Can't get away from the second man. Ronnie Hoggins with the tackle. limiting that to maybe no gain. Maybe a yard we'll give him. So a huge challenge here for the South Florida defense. Dorsey is behind Ferguson in the pistol. Both tight ends now move over to the right. Off the play fake. Looking for Miller, and it's picked. Underthrown and intercepted by Dietrich Nichols. So the Bulls get it right back.
As a quarterback, sometimes you live off the strength of your right arm. That time, not the best of decisions by quarterback Riley Ferguson, who was flushed to his left, never had a chance to really get his feet underneath him and throw the football. He flushes himself out of the pocket, but then really doesn't throw a good ball. This ball is well underthrown right into the arms of Nichols, and we talked about sudden change in those opportunities. South Florida turns it right back against Memphis.
Second interception of the season for Nichols. First turnover tonight for Memphis. Now they swing it out to Adams. What a spin move. Let's see where they mark him. Get right near the first down. I tell you, by now everyone here in the stadium is holding your breath when you get the ball in the hands of 87
well,
in white.
You're looking for 87 in white, because that's a guy that's going to beat you. You give him a small window and he's going to go 60, 70, 80 yards for 6.
Now they get it out to Mack on the now route. He gets the first down. John, how do you game plan during a week for all these formations? I mean, they're throwing the kitchen sink at you.
You cross your fingers and you hope that you can identify defensively. You can coach all you want, but out on the field, this is going 120 miles an hour for this defense.
Now pressure, a man's wide open over the middle. That's Mitchell Wilcox, the tight end, all the way down to the Tiger 40.
After watching all of these athletes blur across the screen, it looked like Wilcox took 2 days to get 40 yards down the middle. Great play call and good identification by Quentin Flowers.
Still picked up 30. And now Adams down the seam makes the grab. First and 10 USF from the 12. Austin Hall with the tackle, but here are the Bulls knocking on the door again. 27-yard pickup.
Hey, man, just think 2 minutes ago it looked like Memphis was in a position of control in this football game.
At the Tiger 12. 18 first downs tonight for South Florida.
Always have to defend against quarterback run down here in the red zone.
Pumps. Keeps it himself. The 5. He will score. There was no defense for that quarterback run. Bulls regain the lead.
Anytime you have a superior athlete at quarterback that can beat you with his arm and his legs in space, he's dangerous because he can get defenders up in the air with that threat of throwing the football. Quentin Flowers, an excellent job of taking advantage of a turnover, getting it to his playmakers. He hit a tight end, he hit a wide receiver, he hit a running back, and then he found his way into the end zone with his quick feet.
Bear hit the field goal and then was hit on the follow-through, so this will go against the Tigers.
Running into the kicker on the defense. Fouls decline. The try is good. Timeout.
John, the Tigers went for the jugular, but the Bulls picked themselves up off the deck.
Well, they end up getting the onside kick, but the interception by Riley Ferguson, the underthrow, really hurt the momentum of the offense. It gives the football back to the Bulls and to Quentin Flowers, who does it again with his legs, finds a way, and leads to the 4-point lead.
A reminder, our Week 10 Monday Night Football matchup at 8:15 p.m. Eastern on ESPN features 2 of the best receivers in the NFL. It's A.J. Green and the Bengals taking on Odell Beckham Jr. and the 5-3 Giants from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's at 6, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Here's Pollard from the 3. Gets to the outside. and then gets dropped. Ball comes loose. Still loose. Bulls say they have it. He was hit hard and he coughed it up. Memphis ball. Daniel Awalake still doing some lobbying.
That's a tough place to live underneath those piles, trying to scramble for the football. A tremendous hit. It looked like Pollard was sandwiched by two South Florida special teams defenders right here around the 30-35 yard line. He gets whacked and the ball is separated from Pollard, and on the bottom of that pile, somebody in blue and gray came up with it. It looked like Miller recovered the fumble from Memphis.
Same man who came up with the onside kick, but what a hit by Tajay Fullwood and Johnny Ward. But Memphis can breathe a sigh of relief momentarily because they can start this drive from their 39. And here's Henderson dragging tacklers across the 50. They mark him down at the 50.
How explosive are these running backs for both teams? They carry defenders, elude would-be tackles in the open field.
Fresh legs, because they can go 3 deep in that position for Memphis, could be a factor. Including right there. How did he get away from 2 guys behind the line of scrimmage? That looked for sure like a 5-yard loss. Instead, it's a first down.
Kevin Bronson looked like he was going to have a tackle for loss, an easy tackle for loss, and it turned into a positive gain, almost 10 yards, almost a first down. Terrific job by Henderson.
Just shy of the first down. Now he taps out. Dorcius goes in there. Ferguson to the sideline, complete for a first down to Miller at the 31.
That's what I'd like to see more of in this Memphis offense. More of that perimeter passing game, because they have the athletes in Anthony Miller especially that can create separation on the corner.
We've had a ball game in the first 7 minutes and change of this third quarter. Flag on the play, false start here on Memphis.
Snap infraction, number 54 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
So that penalty goes against the center, Drew Kaiser. Now Dorcius weaving his way through traffic, still on his feet for the first down inside the 20, all the way down to the 15. "21 yards.
Great vision and great jump cut at the point of attack, and now Memphis seems to have all the momentum.
What defense is going to have the stamina to come up with a stop in the fourth quarter, I think, is going to decide this game. Because with the depth of playmakers that both teams have on offense, they're just wearing the defenses down. Now Dorcius at the 10, still on his feet at the 5, kept out of the end zone by Colin McGee. First and goal, Memphis.
2 strong runs by Dorcius. The first one gets Memphis into the red zone. The second one gets him inside the 5-yard line.
He stays out there to the right of Ferguson. They go right back to him, and the Bulls are ready for him. Up the middle, Vincent Jackson with the tackle. Now they bring in a heavy package. And it looks like Taylor.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Is that a fullback?
Yeah, I think so. Is that what they call the guy that lines up behind the center?
Dorcius kept out of the end zone. So it'll be 3rd and goal. Augie Sanchez, who else?
That's a great strain play by Sanchez in the middle for the Bulls defense. Sometimes it comes down to who wants it more here with a yard and a half to go. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little play action here.
There it is. South Florida breaks it up into the end zone. Touchdown, Memphis. Daniel Montiel. Back and forth we go at the Liberty Bowl, and I think Ferguson had to improvise on that one.
He did. He wanted to go play action. He had a high-low stretch of a fullback, if you can call one in this game. Short pylon. It looked like he had a receiver to the back pylon. Good defense by South Florida. So again, credit Riley Ferguson for finding his third outlet. Montanel coming from the left side all the way to the wide side of the field for the touchdown.
Very similar to his touchdown last week against SMU. So Memphis now back on top. John was looking for the play fake. The Bulls were ready for it, but Ferguson kept the play alive and found his tight end. Tigers up by 3. All right, Brendan, thanks. And a recap, if you're just getting settled in for college football after a long day out, another shocker, a huge shocker already in the dockets in the ACC as Pittsburgh pulls off by what some analytics determine to be the biggest upset in the college football playoff era. As they knock off Clemson. Now here, Adams. Across the 10. And they have done a good job containing him in the return game. Now let's take a look back at our Jared's Drive recap. And the Memphis offense has found its groove after a slow start.
I think it was a little bit of running and passing. It was a good combination of Dorius in between the tackles with those jump cuts, getting to the edge on the outside and showing that burst we knew he had. And then the touchdown on the play action. Riley Ferguson looks outside. Number 1's covered, number 2's covered. He comes back to his third option, his tight end from the wide side of the field to take the 31-28 lead.
37,218 fans on hand at the Liberty Bowl, expected to see offense. They have not been disappointed. So Quentin Flowers bottled up there. Avery slowed him down, and he ran into a swarm of Tigers. Which defense can come up with a stop? That will be the theme here of the stretch run in this ball game. Trips to the left. Mack in the backfield with Flowers. Ball's loose. Flowers fell on top of it. So two guys who have played a lot of football together weren't on the same page there.
Yeah, the mesh point between Marlon Mack and Quentin Flowers ends up on the ground as the ball is loose and Flowers gets on his own fumble, but now brings up a 3rd and long for the Bulls offensively.
3rd and long was not an issue for Flowers and the Bulls in the first half. They swing it out to Mack, and he gets the first down. So good execution on the perimeter by the wide receivers and tight end blocking. Elkanah Dillon with a good block. Chris Morley brings him down, but a new set of downs for South Florida.
South Florida doesn't flinch. 3rd and 15, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 11. It doesn't matter.
Another quick out to Adams. Bounces off Hall. Out to the 35, make it to 37. Not only is he fast, he's tough to bring down as Avery finally takes him to the ground.
Let's credit the skill position blocking wide receivers as well. The tight end Dillon had a great block there to spring Adams.
Empty backfield. Another unorthodox formation for the Bulls. Flowers now forced out of the pocket. Pumps, gets a block on the outside. Marlon Mack with a key block on the perimeter. They mark him out at the 46. They get to 47.
When Quentin Flowers is on, this offense is almost unstoppable.
Certainly, we saw that against Navy the last time out when they put up 52. Now here's Johnson, right in the middle of the defense, just shy of the 50.
The offensive line gets just enough push, Eamon, in the running game to be able to have creases for Johnson and Mack to find and kind of filter through just to complement the passing game.
Johnson to the right of Flowers on 2nd and 7. Now off the play fake. Flowers gets away from pressure, shovels it ahead to Mack somehow, and he's taken out of bounds at the 40. Make that Dearness Johnson. Cook with the tackle, but
great improvisation by Quentin Flowers, just being a point guard really on that play and dishing it out to a playmaker.
bunch set all the way over to the left, the right wide open, but they throw it to Adams. Chris Barr with the catch. So Barr getting involved into the game plan as well.
Paulette finally fighting his way through the perimeter blocking on the now screen on the outside. I'm looking for a pump and go here. This might be a territory where you fake that screen and try to get it to one of your playmakers down the field.
Instead they throw the wide receiver screen to McCants, and he could go. He will score. 40 yards. McCants slow to get up, but it's a South Florida touchdown.
Huge collision at the goal line. It looked like McCants holding his lower back. Jonathan Cook, I believe, was the secondary player coming out of that Memphis defense, but it's going to result in 6 points in an unbelievable sprint by McCants. He's able to elude would-be tacklers. Good blocking again on the perimeter. Does he stay in bounds and tightrope all the way down the sideline? Yes, he does. And there's that collision before the 6 points.
I mean, by design, that play went into traffic.
That's right.
Somehow he was able to weave his way through it. Now Bear on after McCants' second touchdown of the year. And the extra point is good, and the roller coaster ride continues here in Memphis.
It's unbelievable. It's back and forth between Memphis and South Florida. South Florida getting the better of it on that last play. 40 yards from Quentin Flowers to Tyree McCants, and watch the collision at the end zone. It doesn't matter. Bulls on top by 4.
Go there. Welcome back to Memphis, and celebrating its 12th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets. Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship monies. Brandon Bear and Jake Elliott doing their part tonight with plenty of opportunities in the extra point department. And Pollard's going to bring it out. Gets across the 20, gets across the 25, out to the 27. So not a bad decision. And now we go back to Memphis's turn to answer and respond on offense.
With 2:34 left to go in the third quarter, Memphis gets the ball, as you said. They have 2 touchdowns in 3 possessions in the third quarter. South Florida, 2 TDs in 2 possessions. So it's been back and forth for both of these offenses. And you're right, Eamon, you said this at halftime as we opened the third quarter. What defense is going to come up with either a scoop and score or a stop, consecutive stops to really get the separation for their football team?
Here's Patrick Taylor. Breaks 1 tackle. Nice move. Across the 40, all the way out to the 45. Dietrich Nichols finally brings him down. With some nice shifty running by the freshman.
Boys, he got some talent. Bright future for Patrick Taylor.
18-yard pickup. And Nichols going to have to come off the field. We came on the air talking about explosive plays. Memphis, 57 plays of 20-plus yards this season. South Florida coming in with 15 plays of 40-plus yards. Already tonight, USF has 4 touchdowns of 40-plus yards.
It's amazing.
Taylor stays in there in the pistol.
Do you go right after Johnny Ward, who comes in at the corner?
He's played a lot of football, but that's where they're looking. Now Ferguson, hold flag on the play. Does that pass get back to the line of scrimmage?
I don't think
so.
it did.
Tiger fans also looking for a late hit on the quarterback. This could be a double whammy here on the Tigers. Line of scrimmage is a 45.
Holding number 53, the offense, a 10-yard penalty, first down. There is no foul for intentional grounding as the quarterback got out of the pocket and the ball crossed the line of scrimmage.
Ferguson, pressure really from both sides of the South Florida defense. He might have just been to the outside of the left tackle box, but it was very close.
That's not the line of scrimmage either. I got news for you. Taylor bottled up.
Eamon, that's the type of play that might have given the advantage to South Florida with one of the defenses trying to come up with a stop. They can continue that pocket pressure on Ferguson.
Now, of course, the Bulls did get the one stop with the interception after the onside kick. Ferguson with time has a man wide open over the middle. Montiel shy of the first down. Ball comes loose. Recovered by South Florida and Deidrin Sanat, but he might have been down.
I'm not so sure. It looked like Montanel was down before the hit from the secondary.
Looks like they're giving it. South Florida ball.
Clear on the field is a fumble recovered by USF. USF ball.
I'm not so sure that his left elbow wasn't on the ground before the ball was separated.
He's down. Jamon Thomas with the separation. Good hustle by Sanat, the big fellow, all the way back into the play to come up with the recovery. But this one's going to go upstairs to Jerry Frank
Cosman. On the field of the fumble is being reviewed.
Elbow, knee down.
Yeah, I think that's going to be reversed.
They just showed it on the big screen here, and the Tiger fans agree with John Kinjemi.
Live, it looked like Montanel had the elbow down before the ball was separated by Jamon Thomas.
If it stands, it'll be 1st and 10 South Florida at the Memphis 49. Let's take another look here.
Is there indisputable video evidence that Montanel's elbow was down on the turf? It sure looks from that angle, it looks like he clearly was down on the turf before Thomas separates the football.
The only argument, if you live in the Tampa Bay area, you're saying is that from that angle you couldn't see the ball. It certainly looked like the elbow's down. Now this one you should be able to see both.
Elbow, hip, and then football's out.
That's the best angle if you're a Memphis fan. Let's see here, another angle for Frank Cosman to digest.
He has control of the football, it looks like, all the way through. Maybe Augie Sanchez is going to be in the way there. Yeah. I think there was an angle, the first angle. Watch the elbow there. The elbow's down. He possesses the football. Yeah, I think that's going to be reversed.
Should give Memphis a chance to punt, if I remember correctly. It was 3rd and long. I lose track here. This game's been moving at a whirlwind.
I don't remember these two teams punting. It's been back and forth so much.
Certainly not in the second half. I don't think we've seen a punter. We've had the onside kick and the interception to thwart drives or to turn it back over. Now again, if you're taking a long time on the conversation, you got to say, okay, maybe if it's Memphis ball, where was he down? So you got to take a look at that angle. And then the clock should be able to start running again. So a huge moment here for Mike Norvell. Down by 4, you don't want to give the ball right back to Quentin Flowers in great field position. I hate to speculate, but when it takes this long, you're determining
Clock
what
and placement.
I don't know if it stands or not, but Deidre Sinat might get a helmet sticker or a pat on the back for hustling all the way back there to
For
come
a
up
big
to
fella
recover.
coming from the defensive front, absolutely.
Calls in.
After review, the runner's left elbow hit the ground before the ball became loose. Therefore, it'll be Memphis' ball, 3rd down and 4 at the 49-yard line.
So now they get a second chance, or second life, 3rd and medium. I would think you're in 4-down territory anyway, the way this game's going.
I think so. Memphis 3 of 8 on 3rd down conversions, so they're going to have possibly 2 cracks at maintaining possession. It's been back and forth, Heyman, in this 3rd quarter.
You said during one commercial break, all that happened in only 5 minutes? I mean, all this happened in
right.
less than 15 minutes.
It's been an entertaining offensive football display.
Taylor in the backfield. Here comes pressure up the middle. Ferguson gets rid of it, has a man open. Oh! They say he caught it. Oh my! SportsCenter top 10 nominee if it's good. Anthony Miller. Oh my!
Talk about going up and climbing the ladder. Velcro on the right hand, catches the point, controls it, gets a foot down, and it's Memphis ball.
And they get it off, so no review. Screen to Taylor. As the kids like to say, he Odell'd it.
Yes, he did. What an awesome catch by Anthony Miller. Just goes up and catches the point. Great strength in that right hand, just a fingertip catch.
Former walk-on, hardest working guy on the team. Just made a highlight reel catch for the ages. Taylor bursts through a hole inside the 20. He's got a 1st down. That should do it for a, nope, that of course stops the clock. And then that'll do it for a whirlwind roller coaster ride
The 3rd quarter.
of a 3rd quarter. What an entertaining 15 minutes of American Athletic Conference football, highlighted by big plays and a spectacular catch. You'll get another look at it now. You'll get a few more looks at it at SportsCenter. Anthony Miller, one-handed inbounds, keeps the drive alive for the Tigers. Back with the final 15 minutes of regulation after this. One team put up 52 in their last game, the other put up 51, so we kind of had an idea it would go like this as scripted. 1st and 10 from the 18. A running play to Taylor, gets inside the 15. So now 2nd and 6 from the 14. Pistol formation. They stick with the running game. Nice moves by Taylor, but upended by Jamon Thomas. So it'll be 3rd down for the Tigers.
Good tough running in between the tackles by Patrick Taylor. A couple of skips and hops to get himself close to the 10-yard line, but another 3rd down conversion coming up for the Memphis offense.
Tigers are 4 for 9 on 3rd down conversions on the ball game. Empty backfield. Now motion. Ferguson avoids his sack, throws into double coverage and knocked away.
Ferguson very lucky that ball wasn't intercepted and going the other direction. Good break on the football by Nate
Godwin and Khalid McGee with the coverage. And they're going to settle for a field goal attempt.
Ferguson was trying to get his tight end in the flat, never could get a clean look, but then blindly just throws the football in the middle of two white jerseys, and Godwin almost gets the interception.
So Elliott on for a 29-yard field goal attempt to make it a 1-point ball game. This certainly feels like a win for the South Florida defense, the way this second half's been going. But they get the 3 points to make it a 1-point game. South Florida 35, Memphis 34. Back to the Liberty Bowl after this.
ESPNU College Football is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. And the Beer Cheese Bacon Burger, only at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
Here's a good look at the Big River crossing, the new walkway across Harahan Bridge, the bridge that crosses over the Mississippi and connects Tennessee to Arkansas. John, good thing our cell phones comes with calculators, because we've got a lot of tallying to do in this one.
Yeah, I was totally confused. I thought that was the yearly summary. 123 plays, 9 touchdowns, 4 lead changes, and over 1,000 total yards. It's been a lot of offense through 3+ quarters.
Tom 3 didn't seem impressed. We're impressed by Brendan Fitzgerald, and let's check in with him in the studio. All right, Brendan, thanks. Certainly some wild games. If going on with this one, it's going to be tough to live up to Clemson losing at home to Pitt on a late field goal. Now Mack. Jonathan Cook on the tackle. Of course, Wake trying to contain Lamar Jackson, tough to do. Just like right now, Memphis trying to contain Quentin Flowers. Lamar Jackson will be in action Thursday night on ESPN against Houston, Greg Ward Jr., so that game should be entertaining. Tom Herman's club looking to shock the world. Pull off another upset against the Power 5 team. Now Flowers, nowhere to run. Good job by Austin Hall to not let him get out and contain.
That's the way to set the edge and force the quarterback to go laterally. He never had a chance to plant that foot and get north and south. And Quentin Flowers, it's one of the rare occasions that he hasn't been able to do that. Elude the first Memphis defender and get positive yardage.
The good news for Memphis, they forced the 3rd and long. The bad news for Memphis is South Florida has 3rd and long.
It's been pretty easy for South Florida to convert on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 15.
Here comes pressure. They complete it to the tight end. Wilcox will not get there. That play strung out nicely. And they'll be forced to punt. Late flag on the play.
After the play, personal foul for a late hit, number 73 of the offense. After this, we see the goal, 4th down.
Jeremy Hall's not going to enjoy film session this week with the coaches.
It's going to be a long film session. That's 2 holding calls and a personal foul. That's a lot of penalty yards. And in a game that's a 1-point game in a 4th quarter, field position means a lot. And Memphis going to get excellent field position with South Florida kicking into the wind in the 4th quarter.
Miller setting up shop at the South Florida 49. Hernandez getting ready to catch this punt on the goal line. And the Tigers go after him. No, they're going to back off. Good snap. Kick is off. And it's a wobbler. Takes a USF roll. Down to the 41. So things worked out all right for the Bulls there on the bounce of the turf. Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, we'll have the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese and the guys will break them down from top to bottom, have coaches' reactions, as well as a live interview with committee chairman Kirby Hocutt. It's also available streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. This I know, Clemson will not be in the top 4.
Little shakeup. Yeah, that's true. And the evening isn't over.
Nope. Washington fighting for its life against USC. Michigan in a tough one. Louisville now on top of Wake Forest. Here up the middle, Tiger run by Darrell Henderson, who's already had a career high. Tacks onto that. Ogie Sanchez with another tackle. He is all over. That's a guy who just loves ball.
Yeah, he goes sideline to sideline, that's for sure.
Off the play fake, open receivers, the tight end, Montiel. Gets the first down to the USF 42.
And Eamon, we haven't seen it at all this evening, but head coach Mike Norvell talked about massaging the clock a little bit. This might be the quarter where they take a little bit more time between plays and limit the possessions of South Florida.
And now they're not thinking about it at all. It's very premature to think about this, but this is where having one of the best kickers in the country comes into play. But the Bulls blow up all ideas right there.
Kevin Bronson was in the backfield, it seemed like, before the snap of the football. Explodes off the ball, beats the entire interior of the Memphis offensive line and creates that negative play there on first down.
His 5th TFL on the season. Sets up 2nd and 15. Right back to the tight end. Montiel brings up 3rd and short.
That run pass option has been one of the better plays for Memphis to the short side of the field. You get players in space and the frustration mounting a little bit on the perimeter players for South Florida.
So a 13-yard pickup sets up 3rd and 2. Ferguson under center. Play fake. Now out of the pocket, sets his feet. Dropped. Good coverage by Jamon Thomas. Looking for Magnifico. The offense lobbying to stay out there. This is where you want to be a head coach, Mike Norvell. You go for the lead. And again, this is in the hands.
Well, credit the length of Jamon Thomas. He goes at 6'3", close to 200 pounds, and he gets vertical and strips the football away.
It'll be a 50-yard kick for Elliott and the lead. Now again, the wind was tricky going this way in the pregame.
He almost had to start it at the left upright and let it come back.
No good. So the Tigers come up empty. Willie Taggart's club holds on to the lead. Time now for today's AT&T Inside Access. We're going to give you a closer look at Memphis's mascot, Tom 3. For over 35 years, the sideline mascot for the University of Memphis has been a Bengal Tiger named Tom. This Tom was born on August 31st, 2008. He's got a custom-designed Tiger House. It's among the finest private facilities in the nation. This is how he got to the Liberty Bowl before the game, and he was hanging out in the parking lot for all to see. And John, I'm just going to go out on a limb. I don't know how you roll, but when it says please do not tap on the glass, I'm going to pay attention to the instructions.
That's one of the notices I'm going to pay particular attention to, yes. Tom's just chilling now.
He's about the only guy whose heartbeat hasn't skipped a rate. Now out to Adams. This is the play that he took into the end zone, 49 yards, but not here. The DBs are onto him. Did he lose it? Chauncey Lanier had the tackle.
Well, I don't know. Depending on when the whistle blew.
Progress was stopped. Be 2nd down.
Forward progress changes all arguments. Stops all arguments.
Yes. Good open field tackle by Lanier. He's able to get to the legs of Rodney Adams. The ball in his possession clearly now as he's trying to get out. The elbow hits it anyway.
Flowers gets to the outside. The 50. The 40 pushed out of bounds. Curtis Akins keeps him out of the end zone and breaking off another long run, but the Bulls are on the move.
South Florida offensively has been able to get the edge to gain leverage on the perimeter more than 50% of the time this evening. Quentin Flowers having himself a heck of a football game, both throwing the football and rushing.
35-yard pickup. They get it to Mack down to the 25. Second and 2. Here's Mack right up the middle. Taken down at the 15 by Cook. Another first down for the Bulls. 13-yard pickup for Mack.
This tempo is moving now.
Right back to Mack. Lowers the shoulder. Gets brought down at the 9.
Formations, motion. Quentin Flowers orchestrating this offense. They're getting explosive plays with ease tonight against this Tiger defense.
Does it ever cross your mind, like a basketball game, to take that timeout to give your defense a blow and stop everything?
Yeah, you have to be in the right part of the field to do it. You have to be able to get your group together and figure out positioning and eye discipline. It just looks like at some points they're all over the place defensively, the Tigers are.
Flowers keeps it himself. Gets inside the 5. Brought down by Avery, who's had a quiet night trying to run down Quentin Flowers and his colleagues. 3rd and 2 from the 5, so they don't have to. They can get a first down without scoring.
I think if you're Willie Taggart right now, what do you trust? Who do you trust? That's where the ball goes. And right now you've got 2 of your most reliable players in the backfield, Quentin Flowers and Marlon Mack.
And it's Mack up the middle. And it's a touchdown for South Florida. His 12th of the season.
South Florida fans enjoying that drive. A lot of explosive plays. They used Rodney Adams on a fly sweep motion to get all the eyeballs looking outside as we look at Mollett, Arthur Mollett, injured on the play.
He might be cramping up in that right leg. He is certainly a valuable playmaker for this Memphis defense. They're leaders as well, so certainly they hope he can work that out and give it a go. And South Florida gets the ball back. But 7th time this year the Bulls have scored 40 points or more. And Brandon Bear filling in for Emilio Nadelman out there on the extra point attempt. And it's good, and it's an 8-point South Florida lead.
Quentin Flowers set up this offense all evening. He did it again on this drive. It led to a 4-yard Marlon Mack rushing touchdown. The fly sweep motion had all the eyes on the outside. Mack goes inside for the score.
Brendan Fitzgerald back in studio. Up next, Air Force hosting Colorado State on Veterans Day weekend. We give you a look at the 40 squadrons of cadets marching onto the field. A salute to all of them. Eamon, back to you.
All right, Brendan, certainly we echo those sentiments. Looking forward to that ball game coming up next. Should be entertaining, and we, of course, have been entertained here with plenty of offense between the Bulls and the Tigers. Pollard and Henderson back to receive for the Tigers. This is Pollard. Gets away from one man. Still on his feet across the 30. All the way out to the 42. So good field position for the Tigers. So the Tigers, though, down by 8, mainly because of the play of Quentin Flowers, as he's starting to reach some rarefied air.
He really is. I mean, you take the look at this quarterback comparison, Lamar Jackson, everybody's front runner right now, it seems like, for the Heisman Trophy, over 1,300 yards rushing. Quentin Flowers hot on his heels after tonight's performance, and these numbers are up to date. So Quentin Flowers and Lamar Jackson looking to build upon those numbers tonight.
Ferguson with time, steps up, looking for it all. Miller's got a step. They got Miller. Touchdown! 57 yards. And with 6:46 left to go, they're going to go for the 2 points and the tie.
It's the one play that's been missing out of this offense. That long shot, that explosive passing play down the field. There's been plenty of drops on it tonight. That time, 57-yard connection from Riley Ferguson to Anthony Miller.
Under center, Henderson in the backfield. Roll in the pocket to the right. Man wide open. We are tied. Phil Mayhew. Wow, what a ball game in Memphis.
This is fun. This is exciting to watch. If you like offensive football and you like a lot of explosive plays and scoring, you have come to the right place. With 6:46 left to go in this game, not only the 2-point conversion, but the 57-yard strike. Riley Ferguson finally finds Anthony Miller behind coverage. Miller's able to corral the catch and tie the football game up at 42. Ferguson rolls to his right, finds his receiver Phil Mayhew, and with 6:46 left, we're tied at 42.
Good crowd on hand at the Liberty Bowl, and they've enjoyed this one. Anthony Miller with that touchdown has now 1,077 yards on the season, receiving yards. That sets a new school record, passing Isaac Bruce, who had 1,054 yards. He went on to be all right in the pros,
he did
right?
pretty well.
So
Anthony Miller, 10 catches for 153 tonight.
keep in mind, a former walk-on here. Adams knocked out of bounds at the 20. All right, Brendan. Now all tied at 42. Mack has a huge hole. And a late flag. It's going to be a face mask. So they'll tack on 15 yards to the end of the run.
Personal foul, face mask, number 14 of the defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run, first down.
Goes against Jonathan Cook, who's going to sleep like a baby tonight. He's been all over the place, but had his hands too high on that tackle.
Instant field position for the Bulls, who have had no trouble moving it up and down. Both offenses have been explosive, but you don't want to help them with penalties like that.
Stops here in the second half have been rare. Mack unable to turn the corner, and another flag. Cook that time set the edge and made the play. Now we'll see what the call is.
Holding, number 1 of the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
So that goes against Chris Barr, sophomore out of Jacksonville.
It remains first down. Now first and 20 yards.
So that'll move the Bulls behind the chains.
Which really hasn't deterred the offenses tonight. You would think that first and 16, first and 20, first and 15 has put a hamper or dampen your chances. This is not anything that South Florida can't overcome.
Flowers keeps it himself. What an adjustment to make something out of that play. He looked bottled up inside, and he retreated to get to the outside and picks up 6.
Quentin Flowers has gotten stronger as this game has gone on. Not that he didn't start off fast and hot with his legs and his right arm, but he's been able to make plays, taking negative plays and turning them into positive yardage.
2nd and 11.
Might be time for Rodney Adams on a little skinny post down the middle here.
He's in the slot to the right. Valdez-Scantling outside of him. Flowers looking to throw. Now he's going to run, and he's got an alley. That quickly closes. Good job by the Tigers. Jannard Avery.
We thought Avery might play a bigger role tonight spying on Quentin Flowers, but that's a tough assignment for anybody.
Under 5 minutes to go. 3rd and 5 for Flowers and the Bulls. Bunch set, 4 receivers to the right. No one to the left.
You must set the edge if you're Memphis against Quentin Flowers.
Tigers bringing pressure up the middle. Flowers trying to get to the outside, and he will. He gets the first down. What a play by Flowers. Injured Tiger at midfield, but he got some help on the outside.
He turned something into a first down. There was nothing between the tackles, and Flowers was able to get to the perimeter, pick up his blocks by the wide receivers, and retain possession.
So Donald Pennington walking off on his own power. 5th-year senior out of Louisiana. A new set of downs for the Bulls to work with 4:38 left to go here in regulation, all tied at 42. Now again, they're thinking 6 at this point, but if it comes into play, they're dealing with their backup kicker, Brandon Baer, who's already missed once tonight. Emilio Nadelman unable to go. Mack in the backfield with Flowers.
I agree, and that's the mindset you have to have if you're head coach Willie Taggart. You want 6 points on this drive.
They get it to Adams, and he is hit hard at the 40. So Chris Morley coming up. Jonathan Wilson getting to the outside to contain that play.
You can see how this offense would fatigue a defense, having to run and get all the screen plays outside the numbers and then try to stop the run going north and south.
Especially when your offense takes all of one play to
score. That's right.
Look at this formation. The right side, the wide side, all alone maybe for Flowers to try a quarterback run that way. But again, the last time, or one of the last times they set up this way, McCants was at the bottom of your screen, caught a pass and took it to the house. But maybe they're going to change the formation as they take a timeout with 3:22 left to play.
It's a 30-second timeout.
So with a break in the action, that gives us a chance to check in with Brendan Fitzgerald back in the studio.
I want to remind everyone that coming up, it's Colorado State and Air Force. This game will be streaming live on the ESPN app and on ESPN3 if you guys aren't finished there. So Mountain West Conference matchup coming up. Guys, back to you.
All right, Brendan, I'll take that limb and grab it and say we're not going to be done.
Thank you, Brendan.
And you know, John, this just goes to show what this league is all about. You take a look at the American Athletic Conference, and we're talking about with both coaches. Very few teams you can sleep on. You look up and down, the parity in this league, you think it's going to be a down year for Temple. They jump right back up and take a shot at knock off South Florida. Navy's tough to prepare for, but they were in a dogfight today with Tulsa. This is the way this league is now. This is reality in the American Athletic Conference.
Both coaches said that to us on the conference calls this week. You have to be prepared each and every week to give it your best.
2nd and 6. Memphis showing pressure, and they get to Flowers. One of the rare times they get a clean hit, bring him down, and the ball comes loose. They say he was down, though. Whistle was blown. That's the 2nd time South Florida's been bailed out by a whistle. But certainly it did look like his forward progress had stopped.
Different wrinkle shown by defensive coordinator Chris Ball. They bring the corner blitz from the short side. Arthur Mollett was in the backfield on Quentin Flowers. Good stop on second down.
Bryce Huff with the tackle. So 3rd and 8.
Another formation, all the bodies to the short side of the field. This time, it looks like the Tigers are going to call timeout.
Memphis takes its first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
John, offensively, what's the advantage to have everyone on one side of the field and no one on the right?
Well, usually it sets up for that fly motion to the wide side of the field, so you can kind of dictate coverage. When you have all the bodies to the left side, you're just counting, do we have an advantage to that side? Because it's a check with me at the line of scrimmage. They're checking at the line to say, can we go to our strength because Memphis isn't committing that many defenders to the short side? Or if it's even, maybe you send one of your better players and Rodney Adams to the field side on the fly motion sweep and get one-on-one with all that room.
South Florida 6 for 12 on 3rd down conversions tonight. 2:38 left to go in regulation. Ball is on the Memphis 41. Mack now in the slot to the right. For now. Now Mack in motion. And another timeout.
USF takes its second timeout of the half.
I wish I knew something about chess because I'd make an analogy, but the chess match is on, John.
I think it is.
The pawn, the rook. Help me out.
The point is well taken.
So we talk about these two coaches, and certainly in this league, it's highlighted by the young coaches you have. Mike Norvell, when he took over the job, 34 years old. He turned 35 last month, the youngest head coach in FBS. Willie Taggart was certainly one of the younger coaches when he started at South Florida. But, you know, now he's telling us, you know, I go to the league
Showing
meetings,
his
I feel
age.
like an old guy.
That's right.
But
Both guys coaching like young coaches that have experience. They know their football teams. They know what they want to do offensively, defensively, special teams, and we're getting their best tonight.
quickly, let's check in with Brendan back in the studio.
Want to let you know that Air Force in Colorado State underway as they get going in Colorado Springs. It's on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Back to you guys.
3rd and 8, we think, unless anyone wants to take a timeout. Tiger fans starting to pick up the volume. Adams in motion. Flowers looking to throw. Here comes pressure. He gets away. Gets hit, throws it out to Adams.
What a play.
What a play. First down. You were waiting for that, and then it looked like Memphis finally had him, and he had enough strength to get it to Adams. What a play by Quentin Flowers.
Disaster turns into a completion and keeps the South Florida Bulls offense on the field.
13-yard pickup.
Great individual effort by Quentin Flowers. It looks like he's going to go down and take a loss, but he's able to keep his balance and composure and throw the football on the mark to Rodney Adams for the first down.
Austin Hall had him around the waist. Now Dearness Johnson gets pushed out of bounds by Mollett.
How good are these stable of backs?
Now again, if you're Memphis right here, you're doing all you can to force a field goal. If you're South Florida, the last thing you want to do is try a field goal and put it all on the backup kicker, Brandon Baer. Season high for South Florida that already came in with a pretty impressive offensive resume.
I think if you're South Florida, you have to have the mindset, you're going to try to put this one away. You want a touchdown on this drive.
They ran into each other. Flowers still has it. Oh, what a move! And he's going to score! It started by running into his own player. It ends with a 22-yard touchdown run. How did that happen?
Eamon, that was not by design, but I think the confusion in the offensive backfield froze the defense of Memphis. It looked like the play was at a stalemate, but when you have a superior athlete like Quentin Flowers, he's able to make a negative play or take a negative play and turn it into potentially a game-winning play.
Bear on for the extra point, and it's good. And that play is the exclamation point to a career night for Quentin Flowers. 210 rushing yards, and the final 22 might have sealed the deal for his team.
What looked like disaster for the Bulls offensively on that play. A collision, he's lucky he hung on to the football. That could have been a fumble in the offensive backfield, but Flowers is able to really freeze the defense with a mistake. They run into each other in the backfield, Marlon Mack and Flowers, and then the speed, the stutter, and the vision of Quentin Flowers allows him to get into the end zone for the lead.
They also got a break. It appeared Curtis Akins was tripped up by his own man as well. So Taggart, Willie Taggart, who told us this year he's spending more time than ever with Quentin Flowers, and he says that's helped. He also said Quentin Flowers has matured a little bit, became a father earlier this fall, and spent a little bit of time with his new daughter, and is able to grow up and understand the full concept here of being a student athlete in the offense and a leader.
I think it's a combination of both of those factors. I think him wanting to learn the game and the position and get the fine points from Willie Taggart, and then him growing up as a young man and being able to handle both.
The other quarterback with 200 rushing yards in a game this season was Will Worth, who did it against Memphis as well. Now Memphis can take it to the house in the return game, but Pollard's brought down at the 35. So certainly time is not an issue here for Ferguson and the offense with 2 timeouts and the playmakers they have. So this one is far from over. The last time they had the ball, they needed 1 play to go 57 yards and find Anthony Miller in the end zone.
Well, that's the name, Anthony Miller. He has to be involved in this set of downs with 1:41 left to go. And for Riley Ferguson, you don't need it all in 1 play. You'd like it if it happens again, but you got plenty of time on the clock.
Miller, bottom of your screen right. That's where he's looking. Instead, he checks it down to the tight end, Montiel, who gets out of bounds.
That's a type of play that starts a drive. It gets you momentum. It gets this offense going.
Gain is 7. Now over the middle. This time they hold on to it in traffic. Augie Sanchez trying to rip it away from Montiel. But he's down at the 41.
What a great,
at the 36,
great concentration catch over the middle by Montiel.
He's become a major factor in the passing game here in the second half. Going quickly with under 1.5 minutes to play. Until South Florida takes a timeout.
Is that another chess move, Eamon?
USF takes its final timeout of the half to full timeout.
I think that's a catch your breath move. I don't think chess is involved in that one. But it does give us a chance to check in with Brendan Fitzgerald. All right, well, certainly another entertaining Saturday on ESPNU and the ESPN networks. We knew we were going to be in for a doozy. I don't know if we thought we'd get 49-42 with 1:23 left, but we definitely thought 50s could come into play.
Yeah, I was believing 30s, high 30s at the beginning of the game, and then we started getting watching a tennis match, it seemed like, back and forth. Very entertaining.
It's a fitting analogy, because if South Florida can come up with a break of service, they win.
That's right.
So South Florida out of timeouts. Memphis still with 2 to play with here with the ball. Where's Anthony Miller? Top of your screen to the left. Dorsey is in the backfield. They run it.
Ooh,
oh, that's going to be a penalty.
Face
mask on Deidrin Sanat. So that'll be 15 freebies.
Personal foul, face mask, number 10 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That was a violent play by Deidrin Senat. He's just going to stick out this paw, this right arm and hand, and get all face mask and rip the helmet completely off Dorland Dorsey.
So that moves it down to the 19. Dorsius comes out, Henderson comes in. Quick release, catch made, out of bounds. Montiel again. So now they get closer and closer, but the field shrinks on you.
I think the entire field is open for Memphis. They can still afford to run the football. 1 minute and 9 seconds left. They have 2 timeouts remaining, so the entire offense is open for coordinator Chip Long.
Twins to the wide side, Miller to the short side, bottom of your screen. Again, back to the tight end. Montiel makes the grab right at the marker for a first down, and it's 1st and goal Memphis with 1:55 to play.
Memphis doing a nice job of wearing out the short side of the field in the passing game. Only 1 down the seam to a big tight end on this drive.
Henderson in the backfield. They give it to him. Still on his feet inside the 5. Now does Mike Norvell take a timeout? Injured player will stop the clock. And it's Montiel who's become a major factor in the passing game here in the 4th quarter. John, as they tend to Montiel, far be it from me to be one to put the cart before the horse. But if you're Mike Norvell and you score here, do you roll the dice and go for 2?
Boy, that would be a big decision. I think I'd kick the extra point and try to extend the game.
For an injury to the offense, Memphis has elected to use its 2nd timeout to avoid a 10-second runoff.
So you heard that announcement about the timeout. Mike Roach giving us the news. So Mike Norvell now down to 1 timeout.
Just an update on numbers while we're talking about offense all night. First downs, South Florida 30, Memphis 29. Total offense, South Florida 681 yards. Memphis just getting over the 600-yard mark at 603. That's a lot of offense. I think if it were me, I think I'd want to extend the game for my team because it's been back and forth. I want to give them every opportunity to win the game.
And you have the better field goal kicker. Which comes into play.
It does
in overtime. Now Montiel coming off has been a factor. He already has a touchdown catch tonight. So 2nd and goal from the 3. Trips to the left. Mayhew to the short side. Henderson in the backfield. Looking for Mayhew. No flag. Nichols on the coverage. 3rd and goal.
Really good coverage by Deidrin Nichols. Playing the football and not the player. Getting around the body and getting a hand on the football.
Where do you put Anthony Miller? He's going to the slot, to the trip side, wide side of the field. Henderson to the left. Back to Mayhew. Can't bring it in. Good coverage again by Nichols. Curious that you picked that matchup when you have Anthony Miller.
That's right. And Mayhew came into the game not 100%.
So it all comes down to this. Montiel back on the field. He already has 1 touchdown catch tonight. Miller's going to the left. No huddle. Do you take your timeout to talk it over? This is the ball game.
I think this is where you go to the slot to the field. You've got man coverage to the field.
Looking for Miller. Knocked away. The Bulls are going to hold on. 3 straight great plays by Deidrin Nichols in the end zone.
Finally, good defense shows up late in the football game and denies Memphis 3 tries 3 passing attempts, 2 to the short side to Mayhew, and then trying to go to the playmaker. Boy, I tell you, that looked like pass interference. It looked like Dedrick Nichols had an arm bar on the inside hand and arm on the right arm. He couldn't even go up for the football. The officials missed that one on the replay. That is clearly pass interference.
He's got that arm locked. So Memphis can stop the clock once. If you're a Tiger, you're hoping for a botched snap. Flowers takes a knee. What a doozy here in Memphis as the Tigers come up just short of forcing overtime, but
Memphis takes their final time out of the half. Please reset
the offense was there for both teams.
0-3-8. Thank you.
It was back and forth, and Memphis had their opportunities. Short side of the field. Nichols played the football on the first one. The second one to Mayhew, it looked like he could have come down with the catch, but good infighting with the football forced the incompletion. And then trying to go to the playmaker, Anthony Miller. Nichols got away with one on 4th down.
That young coach is going to have plenty to think about. Some decision, the play call on 3rd and 2 to set up the field goal, but then this one certainly you would expect to see a flag come out of the pocket of the official.
Well, both arms of Nichols go up and really hold the right arm of Anthony Miller. He wasn't able to get up. He had a one-handed catch earlier in the game, but that one would have been more difficult at the goal line.
It was entertaining, and the Bulls will take it all the way back to Tampa. A hard-fought victory for South Florida as they'll improve to 8-2. They stay on the road and get ready for SMU. The Tigers will go to Cincinnati, but Willie Taggart can smile as his leaders on offense came through for them.
Outstanding offensive performance by Quentin Flowers. Rodney Adams had explosive plays, in the running attack of Johnson and Mack were too much tonight for South Florida.
So Willie Taggart can smile as his team outlasts Memphis. They win it 49-42. For John Congemi and our entire crew, I'm Eamon McEnany saying so long. Let's now take you out to Colorado Springs. Colorado State taking on Air Force.